Let's clean it up. Clean it up. We're live, pal.
So the Giants.
Yeah, that's not what we were talking about. Let's see what happens if I hit this one.
The Giants play today.
There it is. Okay.
Yeah, they play today. Is it a day game, night game? Let me figure out. I think it's a night game. Well, night-ish. It's like 4 o'clock. 2-2 Giants.
I think those are Slammy's parents. I think Slammy's parents are here.
Oh, they bring food?
They did bring food. They brought cookies. She's going to bring us cookies.
I love cookies.
This is confirmed.
I only want chocolate chip though.
I know. I didn't ask what they were. We'll just take them and smile and.
Yeah. People be getting fancy with the chips, man. Yeah,
Chunk.
no disrespect.
Either or.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Well, I mean, I'll have some.
Okay.
Yeah. We got them screaming D-Lo, KC, D-Lo, KC, D-Lo, KC, D-Lo. We got them screaming D-Lo, KC, D-Lo, KC, D-Lo, D-Lo. We your number one spot. We your number one spot for some sports, huh? Got the city going crazy when we work, huh? We top 2, but we ain't 2, we in first, huh? And when you need the real, we is who you search, huh? D-Lo, KC, D-Lo, KC, D-Lo, KC, D-Lo. We your number one spot.
Yeah, win number 48. Yeah, baby. Pacific Division title. Let's go, baby. We are live tonight at the Fieldhouse American Sports Pub. We can't wait to light the beam tonight.
I do not know what Sacktown brings. When on the low, that's a Sacktown thing. Talking about us, it's a bounce out thing. Must they forgot we some Sacramento Kings. Whole squad going crazy, yeah, we back with it. Northern Cali going crazy, one sack winning. If you doubted us, then ain't no back spinning. This is real right here, ain't no catfishing.
So tell me what you see now.
Coming down the lane off the rebound.
It's 9:16 now.
Look towards the sky like the beam now.
Tell them like the beam. We welcome you in here to the Wednesday, April 5th edition of D-Lo and KC. I'm Damian Barling.
Acknowledge me.
He's Kenny Caraway.
Yes, sir.
Acknowledge me.
We're so happy that you are here with us on ESPN 1320 on 98.5 FM HD2. We welcome everybody watching the show on twitch.tv/ESPN1320, youtube.com/ESPN1320. We're so excited to see you tonight at the Fieldhouse American Sports Pub when Sacramento takes on Dallas, night 2 of a doubleheader. Unfortunately, Oklahoma City couldn't quite get the job done, so the Kings won't be able to throw the dirt on top of the Dallas Mavericks tonight. But listening to the way the Mavericks are talking, they might have thrown the dirt on themselves. We'll talk about that as we roll along, but we got a Pacific Division championship to celebrate here today. We got the Sacramento Kings grabbing a win to celebrate here today. And let's point this out because we've kind of like joked about it, but wasn't really sure. I was able to look it up yesterday. Okay. The Sacramento Kings went to the 3rd spot on January 18th.
Wow. What is this, April 5th?
April 5th. They have not been lower than this. They spent a day at the 2 seed, but they have not been lower than the 3 seed since January 18th. Now, there are still plenty of people, plenty of teams, plenty of commentators who aren't taking this team seriously. Matter of fact, I flipped over to TNT last night, just in time. The TNT B squad, just in time. Kings Pelicans highlights. All right, let's go. What's the first thing Candace Parker says?
Brandon Ingram.
They're going to light the beam right out of the first round of the playoffs. Come on, Jamal. You know they ain't going to the playoffs.
We gotta put Candace on the list.
You know what?
We gotta put Candace on the list, and I love Candace.
I think Candace is on the list.
We gotta put Candace on the list.
And you know what Jamal's insightful response was to the Sacramento Kings season? I mean, and this is just quality work here from the NBA on TNT crew. Well, you know, they got better when Shaq sold his shares.
Okay.
The one place that they laid credit was Mike Brown. They spoke glowingly about Mike Brown. I don't think they said De'Aaron Fox's name during the highlight. Don't think they said Domantas Sabonis' name during the highlight. As a matter of fact, they told their jokes about getting eliminated in the first round of the playoffs, went on to the next highlight, spent 20 minutes talking about Denver losing to Houston, came back from commercial and hit us with oh, by the way, the Sacramento Kings clinched the Pacific Division for the first time since 2002. Yeah, Mike Brown, Coach of the Year. And that was it.
I'm just putting these
Back
people
to
on the
back
list,
to Denver
man.
losing by 20.
I'm just putting these people on the list. I'll just put them on the list. Candace, it hurt me because I love Candace Parker.
Oh, it hurts.
That's my girl. I love Candace Parker, but she got to go on the list.
We got it. We actually got a direct line. We might have to book Candace now.
Yeah, we got to talk to Candace, man.
She was a little that was a little out of pocket.
Yeah,
a little out of pocket.
And that's okay. That's all right. Look, that's all right. They can feel how they want to feel. They can say what they want to say. They'll be exposed soon.
I saw our brother Eddie Gonzalez repping for us on the FanDuel show with Beetle and Shams.
Run it back.
Well, we share in this industry, I guess. Mike Brown called it their most complete game last night.
He might have been right. That was a phenomenal game by the Sacramento Kings. Phenomenal. All the vitriol, all the disgust, disappointment that people had on Sunday for that Spurs loss, it should be the exact opposite today. Because as bad as of a loss as that Spurs game was, this was just as good, if not better, of a win. You're talking about the Pelicans, who have played damn good basketball over the last 2-3 weeks.
Yeah,
I think they were something like 7-1 in their last 8 or something like that, and their one loss was a 20-point lead that they blew to the Golden State Warriors. They showed the stats during the game. I think they were 5th in defensive rating over that time of playing well. They were playing as well as anybody in the league. They had Brandon Ingram, BI, looked like he was going for the gusto to start the game. I was like, oh my gosh.
But then got to talk about that.
Hey,
but then he had 11 in the first quarter. What did he finish with? 20?
I think he had 14 in the first quarter.
14 in the first?
Yeah.
Damn. I shortchanged him. My bad, BI. But
the defense came in.
I know he finished with 22.
The defense came in, locked that thing up. That was a hell of a win. When Mike Brown says that might have been the best win of the season, he might be right. Pound for pound, when you talk about a complete game, they were great on the defensive end. They were very efficient and did what they did on the offensive end. I mean, and they left some things on the table. I think they started off 2 of 14 from beyond the arc.
Yeah, in the first quarter.
And one of them was at the buzzer.
Yeah.
The other one was from Domantas Sabonis.
That was Malik, I think, right? Yeah. Malik at the buzzer. Yeah, they turned it around in the first quarter. Like it started really slow. Then they kind of got going and it felt like, okay, three's not dropping. Let's try some other things. And Malik hit that 3 that you just referenced right there. And it was okay.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And they
never look back.
And they even did a great job being scrappy and getting back into it without the 3 ball. Like they got back into it with I would say on the defensive end. When they started to get stops and they got the ball to Sabonis, Herder got in the paint a little bit too and got buckets there. That's when they were able to claw back into it. And then once they got their feet under them, it was lights out. I thought I was so impressed with that game, man, because it was looking rocky in that first quarter. The Pelicans, who were playing great basketball, looked like, hey, this is what we're going to do again today. Play great basketball. We got a statement situation here going up against this Kings team. We about to light them up. Now,
I don't know why, but I expected you when you said it looked rocky out there. I almost expected you to say, and I ain't talking about Balboa. Like I expected some sort of follow-up after you said it was. I'm so conditioned to it was looking bleak.
Yeah.
And I was expecting
talking Memphis.
I ain't talking Balboa. Like, oh, thought you switched it up on us. But you didn't have that. I don't know. I don't know.
It just looked rocky.
I was just waiting for it. It did. And I think it's not just, I mean, obviously responding is tremendous. I think given the way Sunday's game went, the way they responded, makes it so much better.
Yeah.
And while I may have had some frustrations with the NBA on TNT crew, they are right about one thing, and that's Mike Brown being the coach of the year. And one thing that is for sure, like I think a lot of these people, are looking at the record and looking at the Kings, or Mike Brown, man, what a difference maker. Mike Brown's definitely the coach of the year. I guarantee you, with all due respect to all three of them, like no shade, not kidding, they have no idea the way Mike Brown has pushed buttons on this team this year. They're looking at the records and understand, but that's fine. I don't care about that. Mike Brown's coach of the year trophy should be bigger. Like just because of the things, the way he has been able to get players to respond this year, the way that he has been able to get his team to respond this year really is incredible. And Sunday's press conference is the latest example of, as you said, pushing the right buttons. And we saw them respond defensively last night. We saw them respond when the three wasn't falling, and they came up with, a different offensive plan that proved to be very effective.
And you know what, Damian?
Till the three started dropping, and then they just put it away.
Out, it was lights out.
Yeah.
But you know what? And I'm not here to. I want to be perfectly clear, because I love Coach Brown. He has been phenomenal this year. Everything you just said about him is 100% right, and I'm in 100% agreement. But I'm gonna keep the same energy. When it came down to Luke Walton and all this other stuff, and I was like, it's not on Luke. It's these players got to be better. They got to do better. I'm gonna keep the same energy because I believe it, but it needs to be said. Well, these players deserve all the credit in the world. Mike Brown set things up, but it was up to them to follow it and execute it.
But what did Mike say Sunday? This is up to them. This is I don't even know that we got to this. I know we mentioned it. It was written in the notes as Mike Brown went Kenny Caraway on him. This is about you.
Yeah.
Like, you guys need to do this.
Yeah.
That's the Kenny Caraway model of success right there.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And these players have responded.
It worked.
These players have executed. De'Aaron Fox, like, I know they're being complimentary, and rightfully so, of Mike Brown, as they should be, but Domantas Sabonis, De'Aaron Fox deserve all the credit in the world. They're the leaders. They're the ones that get it done out there on the floor. That team follows them, follows their lead. And I don't want to, and not saying you are, but national media, don't forget about those guys. Don't forget about those players, because Mike Brown, like you just said, he'll tell you the same thing.
Oh, they did.
They
forgot about it.
Yeah, that's happening.
Except Eddie didn't. Eddie was repping our guy strong. But
Eddie who? Oh,
Eddie.
I thought you meant on the TNT.
No.
I was like,
no.
Eddie Jones was out there.
No.
Former Laker shooting guard was on the
Bansky.
Temple Great.
Boogie Buzzins.
Oh yeah, Boogie's out there.
He was repping.
But yeah, man, it's been a complete team effort and group effort between the coaching staff, the players, the coaching staff, and Mike Brown. They have put out the guidelines and laid out the blueprint, and those players have stayed dedicated to it and followed it all the way through. I even go back to something with Alex Len playing now.
And want to talk about that.
And Metu. And I'll never forget when Alex Len, I think it was the first Portland game, when Len got the DPOG, the first person hyped up, giving him props and yelling and doing all this stuff was Chimezie Metu. That's a team, man. That's a team. There's never anybody pouting or going astray from what this team is trying to do.
I want to talk a lot. This is a sentence I wasn't prepared to utter. I want to talk a lot about Alex Len and his response over the last couple of days. And the
game changer,
the brilliance of Mike Brown of hiding him for 77 games and unleashing him onto the NBA world just before the postseason.
Load management.
So we'll talk about Alex Len. We'll talk about that 3-ball drop, and we'll talk about Keegan Murray and his performance last night. We'll talk with Will Z coming up in about 30 minutes or so. James Ham, of course, will join us in the final hour. We got the playoff push presented by Michelob Ultra. We'll talk about the field house, and
you know the vibes. We're doing this for the 48th time this year.
Give or take. Stilo and KC, brought to you by Sky River Casino here on Sacramento Sports Leader ESPN 1320.
give or take a good weekend or bad weekend.
That's
I remember when Drake bars were spaced out 2 weeks at a time.
man. I think we got one Drake bar a month at a certain stretch last year.
That was easy. I was putting that thing together like Detox. Now they got me out here like Lil Baby.
Now you're out here dropping Chris Brown albums. 36 songs on it. Hey, who's coming through tonight?
Yeah.
Who's coming through to the field house? I know Delivery Joe is coming through. I know Dr. David can't make it. Who else is coming through? Anybody? We'd love to see y'all at the field house, man. It's going to be fun. John Poles is coming. Chris Johnson is coming. Okay,
John
let's go.
Poles in the house.
Let's go. AD Mac from SAC. Let's get it in, baby. Let's go.
Hey.
All right. What else we got? Young Zell's coming through. We might have to give Young Zell a mic out there.
That's what I'm saying. They got a PA system in
Yeah,
there.
we might have to give Young Zell a mic out there. Kurt, first that gets there, gets in. Like, ain't nobody gonna tell you to leave. That's all right, Michigan. We'll get you next time. Someone says, Hagen Oaks, right?
Big house.
Big Al called Kreidler was the Rise Guys.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that was in his mind. Like he was the thing from way back when, I guess.
That's all right. Kreidler ain't been here in 4 years, 5 years. That's all right. Man, we're looking forward to I know Warren coming through. Yes, indeed.
My main man Warren.
Excited to see y'all. The daughters coming through. Mark, we see you all the time. We're just happy to see the wifey and the kids come through. That's good stuff. No such thing as too early. You can go there now if you want to. They have food and water. You'll be fine.
So
let's go. Kimberly. Hey, Kimberly. Socialize tonight, would you please?
Speak. I don't even think I saw Kimberly. I didn't speak to her.
That's because
I didn't see where she was at.
She sat like in her little spot by herself until I physically grabbed her hand and walked her over to the table where the remaining crew
Kimberly,
was.
Please come say hi to me.
Oh no, when Kimberly gets there, we're gonna get her seated.
Yes.
Miss P always here in spirit, no doubt.
So
excited to see everybody, man. It's gonna be a fun time. For sure.
So a buddy of mine, he asked me not to say his name, so I won't say his name.
Sources close to Kenny Caraway.
A buddy of mine,
Shavano.
yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
It comes up to me, I ain't even gonna say where it's at because that might give it away too. Okay. I was somewhere, and he's like, "Hey, Casey, what's up, baby? How you doing, man?" It's like, "I'm good, man. How are you doing?" He's like, "Oh man, long day, man. They had a little operation going on today, and he opens up his phone. He's like, look, man, we had to open up this whole knee." And I said, excuse me,
Dr. David?
It's like, that's my homie, but he don't know me. He don't know that I don't do that.
Yeah.
Just on the phone. Just
What?
We took the cartilage here, if you look, and then I said, sir, I don't do this. I don't do this. Now, I don't know exactly what kind of knee it was. It wasn't a live knee. Like, it wasn't on the person. So I don't know. They were testing it. I don't know what and how they were doing this. I didn't ask no more questions.
Wait, you need to find out whose knee that was.
What? I don't even know if it was a real knee. So I don't want to say like it was. It looked real, but it literally was the knee, and there was no body.
You don't think it was attached to a person?
I know it wasn't.
Kenny just told the most bizarre story in history during the commercial break, and I don't know how to go on.
Now, look.
There's 3 hours and 45 minutes left of this show. We got a watch party at Fieldhouse American Sports Pub, and all I'm going to be doing is thinking about what you just said during that commercial break.
Now, look, it could not. It
was like a practice knee?
Yeah, but it didn't have to be a real knee. I don't know if it was real. You know me, I wasn't looking hard enough. I just saw, I said, what is that? Nah, bro. Let me look out. Let me look over here.
I guess the knee was just like laying around like, hey, let's operate on this, fellas.
It was practice. They were working.
Can you ask your friend for like a little bit more details on what went on?
No, because he might give me more details.
Have him give them to me. I got too many questions. Can we call him on speakerphone after the show? Since speakerphone is the only thing on your phone that works, can we call him on speakerphone? I saw you FaceTime someone yesterday. I beg to differ. It just dropped like right in the middle of the call. Just oh yeah, we're gonna get. What happened, Kenny? Oh, the call dropped. That
was his call. So
okay.
He called right back.
He did call right back. He did. You do need to get a new phone. I thought after what happened to you last weekend, when you had a room full of distinguished individuals.
They can't peer pressure me. I'm busy. I didn't have time.
This man
got to go on to AT&T, do all this other stuff.
I'm sorry for those on the radio, but for those watching, this man talks on the phone like, "Hey, what's up, fam? No, I see you." Now a lot of people do the thing where they hold the phone away from their ear and put it on speaker. Yeah. My favorite is when people do it in the cars because they've convinced themselves that this is hands-free. They've convinced themselves that because it's on speaker that this isn't illegal. That's one of my favorite things that people do.
You know, they're trying to be forward thinking, I guess.
I guess so. Officer, I'm hands-free. Like, no, the phone is in your hand. What are you talking about? Sacramento Kings get the victory last night, 121-103. Kings play again tonight in Dallas. We'll talk about that game with Will Z when he joins us in just a couple of minutes. Plus, we'll give you a rundown of everything that happened in the National Basketball Association last night and what's happening tonight. Big,
lot of stuff going
big
on.
Games happening tonight. Yeah. James Ham joining us in the final hour. But Kings win.
Yes, sir.
It's that time.
You mentioned it. The Kings win. They win the Pacific Division.
Hey.
They're going to New Orleans. Yes, indeed. They're going to New Orleans. Handle the Pelicans. Backhand them boys, should I say.
There it is.
121, 103, 40. Give me that beat, big dog. Yeah. I was driving by downtown last night, saw the beam. It was just crazy. You know what I mean? Shed a tear. It was beautiful. You know the vibes. Shout out Holiday Inn. Look, I'm on my 4th time zone in the last 2 days. Cali, Morocco, Paris, France, now Saint-Tropez. The price of fame. Carrying the game, my neck and back. Knew it was a classic, so I got Cam on the track. Kings got the win. 5 is him. No heart there like his body made of 10. Speaking of 10, it ain't a win-win. Man, it's a bonus, a dog. Win 10-10. Killer.
Ooh, I caught that.
They didn't know Killer would get on the track. They didn't know Dipset was here. You know the vibes, baby. Ooh. We back at this. Drake, yo, sing to them boys real quick. The Kings are the Pacific champs. Those has-been teams need to get to the back. It's our day. Dare I say a new day? Yeah.
I respect the Cam breakdown. I respect that you are single-handedly trying to keep Dipset alive after their untimely murder not too long ago.
Dipset's still alive, baby. Come on, we out here. It's a movement.
Yes, technically they are alive. That is accurate.
There's
a lot in there.
People weren't ready for the feature.
I wasn't ready for the feature.
It was a Cam feature.
48-ish bars into this, you switched it up. I ain't even mad. Lord have mercy.
On Drake bars, boy, they ain't know. And got to explain because people don't know.
No, I caught it. Oh, I could. There's a lot. I'll let you, Kenny, explain. So but look, there was a lot in there.
We got 5 is him. No heart there, like his body made of 10.
Got that.
Come on, man. 10 man, Wizard of Oz. Stop playing with me.
But that wasn't it. It was the next
line. Speaking of 10.
Yep.
It ain't a win-win.
Yep.
Man, Sabonis is a dog. Win 10-10. Killer.
Now you want to explain the first part? Speaking of 10, it ain't a win-win.
We speaking of 10, that's DeMontis Sabonis.
Yep.
That trade ain't a win-win. Ooh. We won that thing. And for all my Jessies out there, y'all don't know, Ren 1010 was a TV show with a canine dog. Come on, man. I went too deep, man. And it was still in the 10s. Like 10. Bro, it's too much, bro. Come on, man. I was in my bag. I was really in my Cameron bag right there, bro. Stop playing with me. Kelly, stop playing with me. Stop playing with me.
This man said it was 10. Oh, man. That might be my. I mean, the playoff clincher was the top. That was a special Drake bars.
That was.
But this might be my favorite regular edition of Drake bars. This man said it was 10, 10, 10, 10.
Come on, man. Ain't nobody using 10 that many
Like
times like
Simone
me.
Biles scorecard. Oh man. I'm
Shout out
crying.
Dr. David. I think
That
Reese
was-
really did say this. Is the season over yet?
He very well may have. He'll appreciate Drake bars
One
later.
of these days, man. Ryan appreciates him.
She has no choice.
She loves him. She's a Kings fan too, unlike my son.
We're gonna keep it that way.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep her away from Cheryl and El Grove
Oh,
too.
yeah. Although you know how Cheryl No Grove is.
Oh,
Now
I
she
know.
kind of creeping around.
Yeah.
She kind of creeping around.
No,
Oh, Fox.
Cheryl,
Oh,
we ain't
yeah.
Oh, she's coming over here.
Yeah, she's trying to creep
Oh,
around.
after she threw us out of the state of California.
Yeah.
Not
Well,
not just Sacramento,
they got
not
rid
just
of-
she
They
didn't
got rid of the coach.
she didn't regulate us to Bakersfield. She threw us out of the whole state.
They got rid of the coach.
She loved Luke Walton. I got the text somewhere to prove it. That's sneaky one of my favorite moments in show
That
history.
was
And it
uncalled
wasn't
for.
even about the show.
That was so uncalled for.
I didn't even have Cheryl's number yet. I just get a text from a random number, and it's a picture of Luke on the sideline in what appears to be a courtside seat with the caption that says, "This idiot."
I said, why did you send that to that man?
And I knew by the seat and the language who it was.
Zoomed in on him and everything.
Goodness, she did.
Jesus.
She wanted to make sure I saw who it was. That's why she's not allowed into the Kings Cavaliers game. So we spent the first couple of minutes marveling at how the Sacramento Kings adjusted in the first quarter, starting the game. It was 2 of 14 from 3. And Kings really like to test the heat early. So I think they fired off 3 or 4 consecutive threes, didn't hit any. All right, let's try something else. And I don't remember how many they got down by. I know it was 10. I don't know if it was more than that.
I think it was 14-4 in that first quarter.
Okay. Yeah, 10 was their 10 was the biggest lead. 10.
That's the name of the show today. Ren 10-10. Or it could be 4 10s. Either way.
Don't tell Jesse how to do his job. I've made that mistake before. Don't tell Jesse what to do. Jesse, you do you, baby. You've got this under control. We spent a few minutes talking about how they adjusted and how they let's get going. Let's do something else. Let's attack the basket. Let's work through Sabonis. Let's work these mid-range. And that took them. Malik Monk, you talk about one of the 2 threes came at the buzzer.
Yeah.
Well, that seemed to have opened up the floodgates because the second quarter thing switched up a little bit for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they started consistently hitting threes. And then it felt like, man, I don't want to go, LeBron, La Camara on anyone, but
La Camara, he's never going to live that down.
Oh no, he won't. But it's fine. It's his gimmick now. I felt what once you saw the 3 was dropping, I was like, yo, this game feels kind of good.
Mm-hmm.
Like they withstood the run at the beginning without the shot falling. There was I don't remember what game it was. The Kings hit that obnoxious amount of threes in the first quarter.
Memphis.
And that's right. It was Memphis. And Harrison Barnes had hit like 5 straight, 6 straight, something like that. And it was like tied.
Yeah.
That was kind of demoralizing, right? But this is the 3's not falling, but they still found a way down 10 to take the lead going into the second quarter, and then to put up 40 points in the second quarter to get the 3 ball dropping at a more consistent rate. Man, they're kind of locked in right now.
They really are. And it goes back to what we talked about in the first segment of the response to Sunday. They look genuinely pissed off about how that game went.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't see it with like, oh, they started the game up 17-4. It's not like that. But it was one of those things where they were coming out to execute and they were coming out to defend. And to be honest with you, the way the game started with New Orleans shooting the way they did, getting out to that start, somebody was probably like, nah, bro, no, we're not doing this. Let's tighten this up right now. And boy, did they ever. And I think your boy, our boy, had a lot to do with that. That boy 25 came in there. And he made things look different with his size, his height, and the way he protected the rim. He really did.
He did. I feel like the sample size of him playing well in that role is getting greater. And it really, I half joked about Mike Brown hiding him for 77 games before throwing him out here for the last few, letting him get comfortable. Because do you go away from him? Game one? Again, now look, we understand playoffs, everything's going to be different. Rotation's going to be, all that stuff's going to be different. But you're still going to need someone to spell Domas for a little bit. Are they going with Alex Len?
I mean, I think the matchups dictate that.
Clippers?
So, Clippers probably not.
Probably not.
Because they don't have another big that you would match up against. I mean, Plumlee, I guess, but
the Mason Plumlee?
The Mason Plumlee.
Excuse me.
Maybe you do match up with Plumlee. I don't know. But
Lakers?
I was thinking Lakers, yes.
Warriors, no.
Warriors, no. So the matchup matters. I think you probably you wouldn't play him in the first round, I don't think. But even the Phoenix Suns will be a team with Ayton and Londale and Bismack Biyombo. It's a guy you might want with Alex Len in there against. So,
man, I know we've said
love
this.
the way he's playing, though.
I know we've said this. Broken record, man. It's fine. I'll be a broken record. These guys' ability to stay ready. These guys' ability to, no matter what scenario they're in, being ready when their name's called. And I know Mark mentioned in the Portland game, because it was Washington and then Portland, right? Yeah, because they clinched on the road. The Washington game was rough. Alex Len played against, or not Washington, Minnesota. Sorry.
Yeah.
The Minnesota game was rough. And I think Mark was talking about in the Portland game how Alex Len had spent some time with Graham, their I don't know what their spiritual coach, their psych coach, their mental guy. And man, I don't feel like that dude's been the same since. Like, and then we talked about the response that team gave him when he got the DPOG chain, and what a cool moment that must have been, for him after, what was the line? Had it 59 minutes heading into that Minnesota game, and now to have consistently played over this recent stretch of basketball and has consistently played well for what they're asking him to do, and that really is amazing.
Yeah,
it is. Especially given things we've seen on this franchise in the past. That's really amazing.
Do you agree with its matchup based, whether or not you keep him in the rotation?
Yeah.
Or do you just
You
just play like is this your guy now?
Well, so is the idea, if we use the Warriors for example, you go with Chimezie instead of Alex? Is that the idea?
I think you can get away with playing him against the Clippers. I think you can get away with it because, like I said, they go Mason. The Zubac
with
is a
Zubac?
starter. Maybe, but it feels like the minutes never really match up because Fox goes to the bench first. If Sabonis went to the bench first, yeah, you could throw him in there against Zubac, but Sabonis is still going to be out there with Zubac, and then when they go to the bench,
do you ride Domas until Zubac comes back in and then throws Alex Len out there?
Could do that.
I don't know how different that is from the time that Domas would normally come out.
Domas usually plays till about 2 minutes or so because I feel like Fox.
I don't know what Zubac
out.
plays till though.
Yeah, I don't either.
But yeah, De'Aaron usually comes back though, doesn't he?
Yeah, he comes back with like 2.5 minutes to go. He goes out with like 6.
Yeah,
comes back with like 2.5.
Yeah. Man, that's a good question. That's a really, really good question.
He's played really, really well since that Minnesota game.
I understand why you do it matchup based because you could it could look bad quick, right? and Minnesota's not a team where you'd expect an Alex Len matchup to look bad.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's working for you, like I'm big on, if you got a game plan, you execute your game plan and you make your opponent adjust to you.
I agree.
You make the Clippers adjust to you, or the Warriors adjust to you, or the Lakers adjust to you, whoever it's going to be. They have to adjust to you. You don't have to adjust to them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there comes a time where that might not work anymor, and you have to figure out something else.
That's what the playoffs are about, right? Recognizing that.
Right. That's a game 2 adjustment, a game 3 adjustment, or whatever. And if that is the idea, if it doesn't work out, if you go if Mike Brown goes in with, no, we're going to play our way. We've been playing with Alex. That's how it's going to work. Game 1 doesn't work. You want to try something else? Can you pinpoint moments where Alex Len, being out there on the floor was a shortcoming for your team? Sure. Okay. We're gonna try Chimezie Metu today. All right, great. Chimezie better be ready in the same way that Alex Len was. I think he will. He's proven this year, a couple of times this year, that he can be and has been. And you got to have that. You got to have the same response, because as you just mentioned, the next series could be very different.
Yep.
The next series could be like, all right, we're gonna try Alex again here in game 1.
And that's also what the.
And then, gosh, when they get to the finals,
Phew. Well. That depends on that matchup.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough matchup.
Yeah, depends.
They haven't fared well against those.
The Kings can go any way they want to.
And maybe that's what Mike's been. Maybe that Mike tucked Alex Len away in those Bucks games, in those Celtics games, in those 76ers games.
He knew, like,
Mike's playing for championships.
Yeah, when you play for a championship, you got to have a wrinkle that nobody's seen. And that's what Alex Len.
Someone's tuning in for the first time and does not recognize this tone in our voice whatsoever.
Who are these guys?
Oh, yeah. I always think about that. What if someone just tuned on the radio, just stumbled across us for the very first time? At that moment, we're talking about Mike Brown taking on the Celtics and the Bucks in the finals.
They'll call in and say that Casey guy laughs too much.
Well, they'll do that. No.
Imagine the guy who tuned in when we were talking about Keanu Reeves the other day.
Oh, there's that too. Or a guy like Stanley, he just call and yell at Kenny.
And I don't even say it.
Yeah, wasn't you, but it's fine. It's the KC and Kenny show. Here on D'Lo and KC. Oh, okay. Domas had his 13th triple-double.
There we go. There we go.
Domas quickly getting that Harrison Barnes treatment.
He really is.
Were you just
speaking of, Harrison played better yesterday.
He did.
Even though I almost did a backflip when he almost missed the breakaway.
Oh, my gosh. The shot of the bench was spectacular. Shout out to the directors and the cameraman but shout out to everyone who got that shot, because that was instantaneous laughter from all of them. I think led by Terrence Davis. So I love that. That was. I'm not even quite sure what happened. Did he just go up soft?
I don't know.
They showed the replay, and I'm still like I think he just went up soft, and maybe I think maybe he jumped late, and so he just kind of threw off
this guy. But Harrison played well.
He did make it, by the way.
Yeah, he did make it.
He banked in a dunk. That doesn't happen very often. My man banked in a dunk.
How you bank in a dunk, bro?
Counts. It counts. And no one was more disgusted than Harrison Barnes. To be clear, no one was more frustrated with what just happened than Harrison Barnes, because he knows he's going to see that on film today. They probably run that clip 10 times already.
I would have been laughing all 10 times if I was in that locker room. Yeah, he would have heard it from me, because that's my guy.
16, 12, and 11 for Domas. Domas, what's the number? Domantas Sabonis is tied for third in franchise history for triple doubles.
Like total or just in a season?
Total.
Damn. This guy's been sick.
That's a bad dude, man.
He has been sick.
That is a bad.
And he kind of got him
dude.
going, in that first quarter, when I thought him and Kevin Huerter did a really good job of like attacking the paint, making sure they got high percentage shots when the threes weren't falling in that first quarter to scrap their way back into that game, man. So, yeah, big ups to my guys.
Really incredible performance from Domas last night. And it feels like, we could talk about the defense, and rightfully so. We should be talking about the defense. We'll talk more about Alex Len when Will Z joins us coming up here in just a couple of minutes. But Yo, Keegan Murray.
The
league should be paying more attention to Keegan Murray.
Yeah.
Like, his season is special. I was actually, all kidding aside, was texting with Kamara this morning about, because he's like, yo, the fact that Kevin Huerter and Keegan Murray have 200 plus threes, 200 plus made threes.
That's crazy.
And they're not the main scoring options. Like, when you look and you see that it's Steph and Jordan, Steph and Poole, it's like, okay, that makes sense. 2 prime scoring options. Also, Steph's been out a lot. Like, he was that, so that gives time for, you know, Jordan to be the primary scorer on that squad.
Yeah.
The other one, Dame, and I think it was Anthony Simons. And it's like the same exact thing. Dame, yep, you'd expect it. Simons, okay, that works in the flow of the offense. Dame has been out a substantial amount of time, and it has allowed Anthony Simons to be the primary scorer. Keegan and Kevin Huerter have played virtually the whole year as scoring options 3 and 4.
3 and 4. Yeah. And
so just for the record, Harrison is 5th.
It depends on the day.
So it can shuffle 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. But I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, that's
what
insane.
makes this offense
That's insane.
as dynamic as it is. You've got those 2 guys able to make 200 plus threes. And like you mentioned, they're not the top option. They're like, so what do you, that's the conundrum. It's like, what do you do? Do you load up on De'Aaron Fox and don't let him go one-on-one? Or do you help off of him and leave these 2 guys who are marksmen out there alone to shoot threes? That's one of the reasons why I think when they, like, in that first quarter, I don't have a huge problem with them shooting 14 threes in the first quarter. And if they're 2 of 14, because you being able to take that shot opens up everything for everybody. You got to take it. You got to take it. If they're gonna sink in on De'Aaron and double team Sabonis, and the pass is a skip for an open 3 for Kevin Huerter, I don't really care if you're 1 of 11. You got to take it, because it's gonna pay off later in the game. You're gonna start hitting, and it's gonna start making people rush. Okay, they're hitting now. We got to rush out there. That's what leaves it open for Fox, Sabonis to do his stuff. You got to take it. I know it sounds wonky. I understand when Katie and everybody else is like, man, get some paint touches. But if a lot of the times the threes are what I always say with Will Z, they're wide open threes. You got to take them, because that's what you guys do.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I took note of this in the first quarter. Do you think they shied away from the 3 after missing a few and made a conscious effort to get, I don't want to call it a higher percentage basket, but to get something in the paint or
a little bit. I saw that
because there was a couple where it was like, oh, they didn't. Oh,
yeah, Kevin Huerter did that. I thought, he got back on his, his back cut game and, in his mid range game and things of that nature. De'Aaron tried to do the same thing, so they did make a bit of a conscious effort, but
for 1 quarter.
For a quarter and for half of a quarter, right? But I think it was 1 shot, because I love the 3, but it was 1 shot Kevin Huerter took, where it was like a pump fake. The guy kind of flew by, but didn't really fly by. He was still in the vicinity. Huerter stepped to the left, stepped back there. I was like, that's the one I don't want. You don't have to take that 3. It should be more in rhythm catch and shoot type stuff. But after that 3 that Kevin Huerter shot, it felt like they were looking to get in the mid range, looking to get Domas in the high post and things of that nature. But to your original point, it just changes everything with Keegan and Kevin Huerter out there. I think Trey Murphy had a quote last night. Once again, I saw it, didn't bookmark it. But he said something about, man, like, what do you do? Like, these guys, they got shooters everywhere. You have to respect everybody. They got shooters everywhere. Then they got this guard who's as fast as lightning. Like, they're really, really hard to guard. And he's not breaking news, but the players see it. They're like, damn, what do we do?
Looking for my game recap notes and don't see them, but we'll talk with Will Z.
That damn cloud.
We'll talk with Will Z about. I want to talk about Alex Len. I know Will's been digging up some numbers on Alex Len, and we will talk about tonight's game against Dallas as well. We're going to be at the Fieldhouse American Sports Pub watching together. We're going to get there. We're leaving immediately following the show. Game starts at 5:30. I encourage you to get there early. That place is going to fill up quick, but we are excited to see each and every one of you at the Fieldhouse American Sports Pub, and we're excited to see Will Z when he joins us next here on Dealing with KC, brought to you by Sky River Casino on Sacramento Sports Leader ESPN 1320.
Hey, mute me real quick. It's
Kenny's friends are jerks.
The kids are jerks, not me.
Yeah, the kids are jerks. Hang on, William. Hang on, William. Hey there.
What's up, guys?
How are you, man?
I'm doing great. How about yourselves?
Good, baby.
Good.
We are good. You want to start with Alex Len? Do you want to start there?
Yeah, let's do that. Sounds great.
Okay.
Who would have thought that we'd be talking about Alex Len with this much fervor?
The
a few games left in the season.
Uh-huh.
Oh, man.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Mike kept it a secret the whole time.
Man, I really want season tickets at some point in life, but they are so expensive.
Season tickets to what?
The Kings. They are so expensive.
Yeah.
I want to say.
So, well, yeah, of course.
Well, I want to be in lower bowl.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
Lower
That's
bowl,
not
feet on the
cheap.
ground. Yeah. Lower bowl, feet on the court.
That's not cheap. I remember one time I went through the whole process like online without talking to somebody, and they showed you like the available seats, what was available. It was like the first row of the upper deck, and I want to say like it wasn't that bad. This was like 4 or 5 years ago. It wasn't that bad. Like it was doable. I want to say, I don't know, maybe $5,000 to $8,000 for 2 seats.
Okay.
The first row, upper deck. And I really thought about it, but I think those days are long gone.
Oh, I think so too.
I'm sure.
I think so too. I think so too.
The price of being good. I'll take it though.
Yep. $11K for half season, 4 tickets lower bowl.
Hang on, Will. We're coming back. Live on the Odyssey app, live on 98.5 FM HD2, live on ESPN 1320, twitch.tv/ESPN 1320, youtube.com/ESPN 1320. Steelo and KC brought to you by Sky River Casino as we welcome in our guy, the Statty Batty, our ESPN 1320 statistician, our man Will Z. Will, we're excited to see you at the Fieldhouse tonight. And excited to hear your thoughts on Alex Len, the secret weapon headed into the playoffs for Mike Brown in the way Alex Len has played lately.
Yeah, so I really wanted to dig into some Len numbers. And what I did was just look at the last 5 games because he hasn't really had a consecutive stretch like this before. So I was saying, let's just look at his 5 games. And I know it's a small sample size, but it's been consistent, something we haven't seen. And I was kind of keying in on some like big man numbers compared to just like points and assists and stuff. So what I found, his field goal percentage, 69.2%. It's a great field goal percentage. Rebounds, 4.6. But then getting into some of the more obscure stuff, the blocks, 1.6 per game. Coming off the bench and doing that, it's a huge number of blocks for the limited amount of minutes that he gets. And then this is why I think the biggest thing to me is the screen assists and the opponent restricted area field goal percentage. So he's averaging, again, just the last 5 games, 3.6 screen assists per game, which leads to 8.6 points. And he's holding opponents to 56.5% at the rim. For reference, because those are kind of just odd numbers, so some reference for him. Jakob Poeltl is 18th in the NBA with 3.5 screen assists per game. So in the last 5 games, Len is putting up the same number of those screen assists as the 18th best person in the NBA. So when you combine, I think during that same stretch, Sabonis is at like 5.6. So between the two of them, you're getting 9 of those per game. It's a huge number. And to me, it allows the Kings offense to stay the same. It allows the offense to be at least more similar to when Sabonis is in than when Metu comes in for Sabonis, because Metu can do more of the rim running.
You got it.
Dunking. Made it there eventually. But he doesn't set good screens. And to me, that's the biggest difference along with the defense that I've seen.
Yeah. It seems like Alex Len is really, with playing time, this is not rocket science, but he's eased into how to incorporate his game into what the Kings like to do offensively. I've been maybe my eyes were deceiving me, but I feel like I've seen him a couple of times do some dribble handoff stuff with some of the guys, with Malik Monk or something like that. And that's one of the things that will really help if he's somebody that continues to play into the playoffs, being able to keep that same continuity offensively with the second unit, where it's not a completely different offense with different principles. They can run some of the same stuff that they have when Sabonis is out there, when Len is out there. So if he has that would be really beneficial to what they try to do.
Yeah, and it's not like he has to do the types of passes that Sabonis, he's a maestro with the dribble handoffs and the backdoor cuts that come out of him. He doesn't have to do that level, but he could set a screen and hand off as he sets the screen. I feel like he definitely has that ability, where he can, like you were saying, Kenny, just do at least a portion of what Sabonis does that just keeps them flowing and creates all those options that they don't usually have when Sabonis isn't out there.
Do you think he was a catalyst for that turnaround in the first quarter? Or at least
Yeah, I think so. I think to me, I think it helped that the Kings did get inside. I tweeted it out last night what the Kings' 2-point percentage was at halftime. See if I can find that real quick. But where is it? Yeah, they were 67.9% on their 2-point attempts at half, which is a ridiculously high number. And it feels like when he came in is when they kind of got going from 3. I don't know if I'd have to go back and look at it more and look at the numbers, but it feels like that's when it kind of shifted more to an inside game, along with his defense on the other side, kind of getting stops and helping lead to some transition points. They had 11 fast break points at half, so they were getting stops and getting out and running, and it feels like that he kind of helped start that kind of momentum swing.
Well, this is a little bit away from the numbers, but I'd just like to know your opinion. Do you think that we see Len as a consistent part of this rotation moving forward? Somebody that going into the playoffs, he's going to be getting the Met 2 minutes now, the backup 5 minutes.
I feel like it will be that way, just because he's been so consistent. Especially that first game was a little rough, but since then he hasn't really done anything that stands out as very poor. So even to me, it's starting to get away from the matchup type opportunities where if it's a bigger body out there, you throw Len out. I'm really starting to shift to just have Len be the guy, and doesn't matter the matchup because he can show he's more mobile than it seems like he's looked in the past. He can get out there and hedge on some screens and get back and recover. That he's doing the things that Metu can do, but providing it on a more consistent basis and with a little bit more to give.
Well, this is all fun, but we got another game tonight.
Yeah.
And I was hoping that the Kings would be able to throw the dirt on top of the Dallas Mavericks, but Oklahoma City fell just a little bit short last night in making that a possibility. But they can certainly make things difficult for the Dallas Mavericks, and we'll get to this later. The Dallas Mavericks sound defeated. That's perception. That's listening. That's opinion based.
Tim Hardaway Sr. speaking now too.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Okay. But Will, you always have a more numbers based approach on all of this stuff. What do the numbers say about the Dallas Mavericks?
Their rebounding is just awful. Like, it's really bad. And that leads into their second chance points allowed. They're the worst in the league in both category. And it's just, to me, it's an effort thing. If you're not going after the ball, like maybe they don't have the big bodies down there, but if your guards and wings aren't going for the ball, you're just going to allow those second chance points. And those are just we've seen it with the Kings in the past. It's defeating. It makes you feel terrible. So to me, it just kind of feels like they don't have that finishing aspect to their defense. And the other thing that really stood out to me is their record when both Luka and Kyrie play. It's sitting at 4-11. And we always talk about, can the others score enough? And it's really showing that they can't, because in those 15 games that Luka and Kyrie have played, they've combined to score at least 40 every game and have topped 50 points in 11 of the games, and they've hit 60 together 6 times. So to have those types of duo scoring numbers and be 4-11, I think just shows that they aren't a well-rounded team enough to really get the job done in the whole aspect of a game.
Yeah, they not enough shots to go around. That's really what it comes down to for me. One of the guys that when they had that 2-game series after the All-Star break, Christian Wood seemed to give the Kings a lot of problems. I'll have my eye out for him today to see what he's able to do. And usually I would say Domas should dominate inside against these little guys. I think he's going to have a really good game tonight, but it's going to be, for the first time since that 2-game series, JaVale McGee will probably play.
Probably.
Actually, JaVale played the other day in that Atlanta game and had the free throws in regulation that he made 1 or 2, sent it.
Yeah.
But we'll probably see JaVale. JaVale gave the Kings some problems as well when he played. He played really well against the Kings. So those 2 guys will be guys I'm looking for.
All the talk about Mason Plumlee, the Kings should have got JaVale McGee.
Man, I like JaVale McGee.
That's cool. You wrote about this over on ESPN1320.com for those who want to go check out Will's game preview, which you should absolutely go check out Will's game preview. And that's the 3-point battle. We got some 3-pointers coming our way tonight.
Oh, yeah. So the Mavs, and this is a season-wide number, they take the 3rd most threes in the league at 40.6 per game. And we saw it in that little mini-series. They just lit the Kings up from beyond the arc. They went 20 of 51 and 18 of 43. So 39 and 41%. And it's really their main way of scoring. If they hit the 3, they're going to be in a game. If they don't, then they're not. I know that's rocket science, but it's where the Kings, to me, the 3-point battle won't be a super deciding factor, where the Kings, they don't have to beat the Mavericks, because I think they'll beat them on the inside and the other aspects of the game, but they'll have to kind of keep that 3-point battle at least close, like stay within 5 makes or so. So if the Mavericks get 17, can you get 12? And it feels like that should kind of be enough to keep the score close enough to hold off a barrage of threes if the Mavericks go off.
They got a gang of corner threes last night. They were savants in being able to get corner threes, the Mavs were. But, these are the things that the numbers don't speak to. It's a different Mavericks team mentally, emotionally.
Yeah.
It's a really different vibe right now. Same players,
broken,
same
man.
group.
Yeah, they're broken.
I think I agree.
Kings
Kings are not.
Kings are not. No.
After all that we talked about with Sunday and everything, Kings still got what, the second best record since the All-Star. They're like 16-6 or something like that since the All-Star break. 17-6, something like that. Been phenomenal.
Lost to the Spurs though.
They did.
That's all that boils down to. They lost to the Spurs though. Yeah. Will, we appreciate you as always, my friend. Looking forward to seeing you tonight and watching this game against Dallas together.
Appreciate it. See you guys tonight.
Take care, Will.
That's our man Will Z right there. He's got a preview over at ESPN1320.com for those who want to check it out. He posts previews just because he loves to do this stuff every game day. So go check him out.
That's how you know he's gonna be great, because it starts with the love, man.
Yeah,
starts with the love. You do this stuff when you wouldn't be on the radio or wouldn't be getting paid for it or nothing like that. When the money starts coming and the job starts, you'll do just the same.
Will has a job, like a job
Yeah.
that probably pays him very well, or certainly pays him. Man, the Kings are gonna hire that dude one day.
Yeah. Somebody is.
He's going to be like the Ken Cantanella at some point. He's going to transfer all of this stat energy to cap energy.
Well, Will Z needs to be my source when that happens.
No one will be able to figure it out. no
I
one
got an idea who the Kings are about to sign.
No one will figure out who our source is on the inside when the Kings hire Will Z. But Kings, if you're listening, y'all should call Will Z.
Look into that.
Hire that man.
Kings won the Pacific Division yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. I know we have a cough button, but I just couldn't get to it.
That's okay. That's okay.
They won the Pacific.
For those who are unaware, the Sacramento Kings won the Pacific Division last night. It was such a monumental moment. Kenny Caraway died. Kenny Caraway died on the Wednesday edition of D'Lo and KC.
I don't know why this is the case.
It's just going to be me at the Fieldhouse American Sports Pub. We'll pay tribute to Kenny Caraway. Talk about his best moments. It's like when Michael called his boss, David, and he kept choking on the tiramisu over and over and over again. That's Kenny right there.
This is the second time Kenny's almost died in 2 weeks.
Like, God, man, his job is.
I need to pay attention walking across the street now.
I'm gonna stall you out. I'm gonna stall you out for 10 more seconds. You're listening to D'Lo and KC on KIFM West Sacramento, 98.5 FM KRX QHD2 Sacramento, ESPN 1320. Always live on the free Odyssey app, live on Twitch, live on YouTube. Even if you're scrolling your timeline at ESPN 1320, we're live on Twitter as well. Take 3.
All right.
It happens.
Kings won the Pacific Division yesterday, and that is phenomenal. That is great. I'm glad they got it taken care of, because there was something that I didn't want to say. I was thinking, but I didn't want to say, and I can say it now that everything is all good.
Okay.
I don't know if Phoenix is losing the rest of the season. I don't know if Phoenix is losing another game the rest of the regular season. And I was like,
six straight for
they
Phoenix.
They better find a way to get a win soon, man. Because if it gets down to it, I don't know. Obviously, there was some type of tiebreaker thing going on that they didn't have. That's why they hadn't clinched the Kings.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, geez. Yeah, Phoenix is tough.
I don't want to see Phoenix anytime soon, man. That is.
I thought about that because you said the Kings lost to San Antonio, and Phoenix did not.
No, they didn't.
Phoenix did not.
Again, I think confirmed. The longest winning streak in the NBA right now.
Ooh.
6 straight for Phoenix.
They haven't lost since they lost to the Kings, I don't think.
And
they lost to the Lakers.
And Kevin Durant came back after that game.
After the Lakers game?
Yeah, I think they're 5-0 with Kevin Durant back.
Yeah,
because I don't think Kevin Durant's played 6 games.
I don't know. I don't know, because he came back Wednesday. They played 5 games since then.
It might be 4 now.
I think
this isn't going to be terribly hard to find out. Let's go. Let's see. They beat the 76ers. That was the start. We'll check the box score against the Utah Jazz. And Kevin Durant did not play in that one. Kevin Durant returned versus
Minnesota. That was a Wednesday night game. That was the night they clinched, because everybody was talking about ESPN was
KD's return. Yeah.
Instead of that. So that was
Durant's home debut.
I think, but damn, that's 4 years. That's 1, 2,
4-0.
4 4-0.
Beat the Spurs, beat the Thunder. Well, beat the Spurs by, is that 21, 10 over the Thunder, 7 over the Nuggets, 7 over the Timberwolves. Those are just the Kevin Durant games. They beat the Jazz by 14, 20. Beat the 76ers by 20. Again, that was pre-Kevin Durant.
That was the night the Kings could have clinched at home.
That's right. Oh, that's right. Yeah. We were scoreboard watching, and then we didn't have to anymore.
We had everything we needed. Kings were winning.
The most disappointing night in the history of the Golden One Center.
Clippers were getting beat up, and all we needed was Philly to do their thing, and they did. But I say all that to say, like, yeah, I'm glad they got the Pacific Division wrapped up because Phoenix is cooking right now.
Hey, this is a cool note. Neemias Queta finished second in the G League MVP voting.
I saw that, man. That's awesome. Great job, man. Great job by him.
Yeah, that's terrific. It's funny, Kenny, you posted this tweet, and sometimes when someone posts a tweet, you can hear it.
What I post?
You put good win Kings, and then you said Luka with a picture of a very, very, very famous picture of Harlem Heat with Sensational Sherry and Mean Gene Oakland. And for those that know, you can hear that tweet, like you can hear the picture talk. And as soon as you posted that, I started
we coming for you.
Well, that's not what he said. Though we've already had a couple of moments on this show we've had a couple of Booker T moments on this show already.
I still don't know if I really hit the Booker T, man.
Jesse said you did.
You did.
Says you hit the Booker T, you hit the Booker T. We've probably had worse than Booker T moments, so it doesn't really matter. But I love that tweet because I was like, I can hear this. Like I can
everybody
hear this
that
tweet.
knows what it is heard it too.
The playoff push presented by Michelob Ultra. It's only worth it if you enjoy it as the regular season winds down and comes to a conclusion on Sunday. We'll keep you updated on everything that happened in the association last night, everything that's going to happen tonight. Let's start with last night. The Warriors. That was every bit the game we thought it was going to be.
I was watching that one.
But we were hoping the Sacramento Kings would be able to bury the Dallas Mavericks and eliminate them from playoff contention. That only would have worked if Oklahoma City beat the Golden State Warriors last night. That did not happen. Massive fourth quarter from Jordan Poole saw the Warriors get another win.
Meltdown from OKC last night. Coach Mike.
I never know how to say
Mike D.
Yeah, I just say Mike D because I get it wrong every time.
He had a meltdown that kind of, I don't say it cost him.
Was it the substitution?
Yeah.
The Jaden substitution?
Yeah. He had a meltdown, which led to a technical, which led to a point, a basket, and a technical. And it seemed like that was the end. They unraveled at that point.
Those moments can go two directions. It's not the direction Coach Mike D wanted it to go.
Nah, not at all. So they had an opportunity. They're up by like 12, 13 points in that third quarter, and the Warriors just walked them down. That was a big game for the Warriors. The Warriors, and we'll talk about this more in depth, the Kings have an opportunity to make their life a living hell on Friday.
Yeah, they do. We will absolutely talk more about that. Let's touch on a couple of other things that happened last night. The Lakers.
Oh, I was watching that.
The Lakers were up 10 with 90 seconds left, 90 plus seconds.
I was about to say it was like 131.
The game was over.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't. And somehow the Lakers and the Jazz wound up in overtime where LeBron was able to put him away. The final sequence from Utah was so bad, it looked like they wanted to lose. They took a shot like they didn't give themselves a chance for a rebound, a chance for fouling, a chance for anything. They basically had one shot. They couldn't foul. They couldn't get to the player to foul, and the clock just ran out.
It was a 1 foot fall away.
It was
from
no
THT,
good. Yeah.
with the shot clock winding down. I said, what is this crap?
I really did pop, though, that it was Taylor Horton-Tucker as the closer for the Utah Jazz. No disrespect. I just was like, oh, man, this is tough.
Tucker almost with a Carlton moment. Like, this is my moment.
Oh.
I'm going to get back at him.
No, it didn't. That wasn't it, Brody. That wasn't it. But again, the Lakers, And so the note for today, because there is a massive game today between the Lakers and the Clippers, I believe both of them are going to play, but LeBron James and Anthony Davis are listed as game time decisions right now. LeBron said, I haven't played that much basketball in 5.5 weeks after last night's game. Did you see the video? Did you see the video of him talking to the reporters with his
goat sounds in the back?
Did you see that?
I did.
What did you think of that?
Yeah, it's funny.
I thought it was funny because LeBron was agitated that the reporters couldn't hold it together. And it was like, yo, I'm holding it together. Y'all need to hold it together. He didn't smile. He didn't laugh. He wasn't amused by it. And he was agitated that the reporters cracked at and the goat noise it's a very odd noise to make.
Yeah.
I don't know that it had the effect that the players wanted it to, because it was very odd.
Yeah.
But
I didn't think it was hilarious, but I thought it was clever. It's whatever.
I thought I didn't think it was clever at all. I thought LeBron's response was funny. It was LeBron's response that made me laugh. LeBron was like annoyed with it.
LeBron needs to wear a wave cap. I get distracted every time he's there. I'm like, come on, Bron.
Leave that man alone.
Like, come on, Bron. One thing I was watching with Reese yesterday, and we were watching that Jazz Lakers game. We're like, man, there's some bad haircuts in this game.
Jesus.
Some bad haircuts, man. You got Olenek, you got THT, you got LeBron. It was rough.
LeBron's hair is only rough during the season. It looks immaculate in the off season.
And immaculate when he was out. It looked great.
Well, it's tough to look immaculate in a basketball game with the things that he probably has to do to make his hairline work.
Yeah, you don't want it leaking out.
They don't do that.
No,
judgmental. Ain't nothing scarier than when it rains. So gotta hurry inside. Gotta get inside. Hey, one quick question on the Oklahoma City Thunder. Jalen Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any you know what Jalen Williams I'm talking about?
Yeah.
JJ Redick's making the case for him to be Rookie of the Year.
No.
And that's my feeling too. But when I first saw it, and it's not a criticism of JJ, it's more, I think sometimes we get so wrapped up in numbers, we don't believe our eyes anymore. And that's what he was talking about with Jalen. He was talking about how incredible his advanced stats are. And it's like, yeah, that's cool. Have you seen Paolo Banchero?
Yeah, come on, man. That's the Rookie of the Year.
Like, that dude is incredible.
Yeah. And once again, he's got a bigger responsibility to his team than Jalen does. Jalen's great. And I really don't have a problem with somebody making the argument. Like, that's fine. I can make the argument De'Aaron Fox should be, in the MVP conversation. Like, it's all good. I don't have a problem with it. I just don't agree at the end of the day. Okay, you made a good argument. Those are good numbers. He's a hell of a ball player. He's going to be somebody to watch in this league.
Yeah.
But he's not the Rookie of the Year this year. I saw something interesting, and I don't think this applies because the Pelicans lost. Maybe it does. It clearly does. But Hardwood, whatever, HP basketball on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
He had the scenarios for how the Lakers and Clippers games go to tonight and moving forward. So it's like if the Clippers win on, it says Wednesday, but if they win tonight and it ends in a 4-way tie between the Pelicans, Clippers, Lakers, Warriors, it would be Pelicans 5, Clippers 6, Lakers 7, Warriors 8. If the Lakers wins tonight and it ends in a 4-way tie, Lakers 5, Pelicans 6, Clippers 7, Warriors 8. So the Warriors have to win out not to be in one of these little crazy situations where they find themselves in the play-in. I think.
Okay.
Yesterday's one was huge for them being down the way they were because I think they need to win out to stay out of the play-in. Because it feels like they don't have the tiebreaker against anybody.
Right now, the Warriors are in 5th. The Clippers are in 6th. The Clippers, of course, were off last night, and that's the playoff push. Presented by Michelob Ultra. It's only worth it if you enjoy it.
I was going to say the Warriors are going to fall down to 6 regardless tonight.
Because they don't play.
Mm-hmm.
Got you. Could they fall to 7th?
I don't think so. Well, the Pelicans.
Well, no,
tonight.
because
the Pelicans play the Grizzlies tonight. So I don't know what bearing that has on anything. But I don't think so. I think they can only go to 6.
Is Herbert still there? Did Herbert want to talk? Herbert, hang tight, man. We will get you right after the break. Don't go anywhere. We'll come back. We'll talk more Kings basketball. D-Lo and KC roll along here. D-Lo and KC brought to you by Sky River Casino here on Sacramento Sports Leader, ESPN 1320. Oh, man. Yeah, that Mike Brown tat was funny. Not funny to me, but I'm sure funny to him and his crew.
What did Mike Brown do?
No, my guy who got the tattoo, he said, if the Kings make the playoffs, I'm getting a Mike Brown tattoo. And he did. He sure did. He got Mike Brown tattooed on his body.
Weird.
You have tattoos? Yeah. Oh. I don't know. We've been in winter for 10 months. I don't remember what your arms look like.
I got some on.
Oh, that's
biceps.
right. Yeah, I knew that. Yeah.
I got a rosary around my neck and down my chest. A couple of stars. I gotta get something to complete everything. But I don't know. I just don't know if I want to spend money on tattoos.
Dr. David, you sent me that, and I had a quote tweet ready and just decided, forget it. It ain't even worth it. Ain't even worth it. Ain't even worth it. It's like picking on the elderly at this point. Not worth it. Can't believe what?
People just be out thinking themselves, man.
Yeah.
Just be out thinking themselves. Who's ever seen chocolate chip cookies and be like, oh, I don't want that.
Oh, no.
Nobody.
Nobody's.
Just play the hits.
Chocolate is a.
You can get away with snickerdoodle though.
Those are pretty good.
That's a good cookie.
Those are pretty good. I think isn't that what James brought in that day from Crumble Cookies? Right, bud.
I don't know what James brought in was
Crack.
a lot. He brought in like 6 of those things. That was legit, probably like $25 worth of cookies, right?
Yeah.
Like Crumble can't be cheap.
Yeah, no, Crumble.
I think it's like 4 for $16. I'm making that up, but maybe.
Okay. Guess that's not that bad. It's about what I pay for a cupcake, so I guess it's not that bad. Yeah.
From where?
I think it's called icing on the cupcake. It's in Rockland. Right near my house. They have one vegan flavor that I really, really like.
I went to Lucille's out here not too long ago. I like Lucille's.
Out here?
It's on the other side of Topgolf, on the other side of Freeway. Where like RC Willie and movie theaters and stuff.
Hey, so is Marie's Donuts like? Is that like the donut place in Sacramento?
It's probably the most famous.
I need a spot.
I feel like Bad Baker's is people's new favorite spot.
Where's that at?
I think it's in Natomas. But it's like these donuts come with like syringes.
I see. I don't like
you. Yeah, that's too much.
Like,
bro, I just want a glazed donut.
That's a lot.
Marie's is like it's just simple. Like it's not anything crazy. You just get a really good donut. It's good stuff. People will be out there at 2-3 in the morning, lined up. Not because like you can't get it. It's just if you go to work early or if you're out. Oh, I know Marie's is open. Let's go over there.
When I was younger, and my cheat days were 24 hours. That was the rule. I had 24 hours from that first bite or whatever. I'd be hosting Club 102. I'd get off at 3 a.m. on Saturday. And I'd stop at this 24-hour donut place. It was on like San Juan because we lived on Greenback and like Hazel.
Yeah.
Stop on San Juan, get a dozen donuts, eat 6 before I went to sleep, and the other 6 in the morning. That shit would kill me now. But back then, when I was 23,
made it happen.
Didn't bother me a bit.
The after club spot on the south side was we go to the club and then we would go to Sherry's afterwards. Sherry's used to be popping from like 2 to 4. What y'all know about Sherry's, man? Green Haven, stand up.
TCG's in the place tonight, right?
He got
That's it, John Cole. It was Donut King. That's it. That was it. Donut King indeed. Give me the chocolate, the chocolate frosted donut with the peanuts on it.
Donut King.
Yeah,
It's so
man.
bizarre how different the sides of the city are. Like, I don't know nothing past Arden.
Kenny Caraway's alive and well for those who
I'm here.
Who
Still
tuned in.
standing. Still strong.
Man, I don't have that over here. I'd hit the button for you. I got this.
You got like a premium
Wait, what?
peacock.
I got that.
What?
Just a simple question. I mean, we've got.
Hey man, I won't mention this guy's name. I'll give him his initials. OJS.
Every once in a while, you just got to remember we got the buttons on full.
I feel like Macho Man was a small package type of guy.
God bless the Macho Man. Ain't never bothered nobody. One of the originals.
Is that honestly? I don't know. Is that a trick question? Like,
still one of my favorite clips.
Shout out to that boy TD.
Yeah, still one of my favorite clips.
See, TD still gonna be heard from this year. I'm telling you that right now. You're gonna be heard from.
You gonna have a playoff moment?
I think so, man.
I can see it.
TD gonna have a playoff moment.
Looking for a spark.
Davion gonna have a moment like he did last night. People gonna go crazy.
We need one of those at the G1C.
Woo, woo.
That is
had the other nephew in click clack.
Okay. Calm down. Calm down.
The Chatty House
Davion.
came up with that one. I ain't come up with that one.
Davion, is there? I know getting dunked on is. I know that's like the one everyone like talk. Just like what Davion did.
Yeah, that's embarrassing.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Like that was your boy Murphy.
I think it was Dyson Daniels.
Okay.
That's what I said.
Okay. Just like that's tough.
Yeah.
Just that's demoralizing. That's like Debo and somebody. That's tough.
You just can't get away from this guy. You can't
this
get
dude
yourself together.
Literally is just ripping the ball away from you.
Yeah, that's not nice. He get one of those in the playoffs in game 1 or 2. Let it happen in game 1.
Oh man. The sound that arena would make if he does that.
He gonna have some moments too, though. I think TD gonna have some moments. I think Davion gonna have some moments.
See, you're talking crazy. You're talking as if almost the Kings are going to play well during the playoffs and not just fold because it's the playoffs.
What she said?
That's crazy.
Light the beam
talk.
out of the first round.
Light the beam out of the first round. That's what she said.
All right, Candace. Oh, remember you said that. Somebody clip her saying that, man. I got Candace. We got to talk about that. I hate it had to be her.
If you have the TNT show from last night, it was the Kings were kind of the post game was kind of it was wrapping up. I flipped over to see. I thought there was a game on. I thought one of the 2 games was on TNT that we were paying attention to, and I flipped over and they started running the highlights. I'm like, oh, let's go.
Yeah.
They're gonna light the beam right out of the first round. Huh? Jamal, you ain't picking them to get out of the first round, are you? Candace, damn. They just won the Pacific. No mention of the Pacific Division win on the highlight. Just Kings are playing good ball. And yeah, Mike Brown, coach of the year. But
and my man Jamal Crawford, that's my guy too, Michigan man, no shade. But of course he's gonna say the Kings aren't getting out of the first round. He thinks they're playing with Kevin Lyles, the A&R.
Well, which is wild. But there you have it.
So yeah, man, it's all good. Speaking of Trey Lyles, another rough night. I want to see Trey bounce back for the playoff start. I want to see him get his groove back.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you get him going. Let's get Herbert in here. 916-909-1320. Herbert, we appreciate your patience, my brother. What is going on?
Hey, what's happening, D-Lo? What's happening, KC?
Herbert, what up, my guy?
Sacramento proud, homie.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Division champs, like the beam, all of that.
You know that, baby. You know that. We just getting started around here, too.
For real, though. Hey, but Matt George, he posed a question on Twitter last night, talking about besides Fox and Sabonis, who do the Kings need to really to make a playoff push? Who do they need to like step up or whatever? And so for me, it's easily Davion Mitchell.
Okay.
And my reason for that is because makes the type of plays in the playoffs that win games in the playoffs. He specializes in making those type of plays. You need a guy like that. And I believe, and he does the grunt work, diving on the floor for loose balls, a big rebound, a strip, taking a charge, things like that, where you notice the good teams have that guy. Bobby Portis, PJ Tucker is another one, Crowder, Marcus Smart, guys like that. And I think Davion will shine in the playoff, and that's what will be able to maybe get the Kings to move to the next round.
Okay, I'm with that, man. I'm with that. Davion, like we just talked about, he's gonna have some moments. I like the way Davion has played most of the year, but ever since he was kind of under fire, when Fox was out, I think he's really responded. He's played really good basketball, and he's always going to be in the defense. You know that. I
agree. And some of us, me included, were looking for a response. We wanted to see that. We was a lot of talk about what he could do as a starter. And we've seen it at times. Well, he doesn't have the starting role. So finding his place just a catalyst of energy in that second unit is incredibly important. And I think when he's on his game and Malik is on his game, and I believe both of them very much are, man, that's only good things for Sacramento.
Absolutely.
But one of those defensive moments at the Golden One Center would be pretty amazing.
I'm telling you, man, the Candace Parkers, all these people, I just let them say, Kings are dangerous. It's a dangerous squad. You don't want to mess with you better get the Kings. You better get them early. You better get them doubting themselves and trying to scramble and find out what they got to do in these playoffs. Because if you don't get them early, if you give them confidence and got them feeling if they get into the playoffs and say in the first two games, they're able to put up 130, oh, this ain't no different. We still do what we want to do.
Right.
And they feeling good about themselves.
Yeah.
You better get them early.
That's the other thing. Oh, they just don't have the experience. Cool. What if they win game one and get some confidence? By the way, who says they're going into the playoffs lacking confidence? It's probably another discussion to be had. This team, I think they responded the way they did last night because they know the way that they played on Sunday was unacceptable. I'm glad Mike had the press conference that he had, but if you we played Mike's, we didn't play De'Aaron's. De'Aaron had something to say about it. We didn't play all of Kevin Huerter talking in the locker room. We played some of it, but not all of it.
He was disgusted.
Kevin Huerter, same thing. Keegan Murray, same thing. They knew. It's fun to talk about what a coach does or what guys do to motivate each other. Those dudes knew. They didn't need that. I'm glad it happened, but they didn't need it.
Yep.
They knew, and that's why we saw what we saw last night.
These dudes are going to be ready. They're going to be ready for the playoff. I can't wait. I would be shocked if the moment was too big for them if they didn't respond or whatever. I'd be floored because I think they're going to be ready to go. Whether that means they win or lose or anything, I don't know. I'm not here to say that. But I am here to tell you they're going to be ready, and they're going to open the eyes of a lot of people who think they're some kind of pushover or just a feel-good story. I believe that for sure.
Kings are in Dallas tonight. They will look for their 26th road win of the season, a franchise record.
Wow.
They're tied with the 2001-2002 team right now with the most road wins in a season. And no matter what happens the remainder of the way, the Kings are going to finish with more road wins than home wins.
Damn.
Could be by one. Could be by 3. But the Kings are going to finish with more wins on the road than they will at home.
Man, that is, even when you planned out this season and somebody wrote the script. There's a script again. But somebody wrote the script of the season. They said the Kings are going to be the 3 seed in the Western Conference. How do you think they got there? It's like, well, they probably did just enough to be 500.
A couple teams probably died.
Yeah.
We talked about that before the season. A couple teams probably dropped dead. And
just got there was a cheating scandal, a gambling scandal, and they just got excommunicated from the league. But
Kevin Durant definitely didn't come to the West.
Matter of fact, everybody went to the East.
Everybody went to the East.
Jokic went to the East.
Yep.
But if you just laid it out, you'd say, all right, well, to have this record where they won 50 games or 49 games, they probably did just enough on the road to be around 500 and were dominant at home. Golden One Center was probably a madhouse, and they lost 4, 5, 6 games at home. That's how they got it done. And it's been not the opposite, but it hasn't been anything close to that.
So that's something kind of interesting in all of this, because I know everyone is adamant that this team needs to play better at home. And I mean, Mike is adamant that this team needs to play better at home and do some different things better at home. And we talked about those numbers that Deuce put out there that Mike was asked about, like the offensive rating, defensive rating, home away split, and being a top 10 offense and a top 10 defense on the road, which last night fed right into those numbers. But the numbers aren't lopsided. I think that's where, I know we all want the Kings to play well at home, right? Well, they're 23-17. That's not terrible. And they're 25-14 on the road at this point in the season. Again, it's just kind of it's an even split. It's a consistent team. You want there to be a home court advantage. I mean, looking at the top 6 teams in the league, or the top 6 teams in each conference, excuse me, it looks like only so there's a few teams, like the Clippers are 21-18. They're the only team in the West with a worse home record in the top 6 than Sacramento. In the East, Brooklyn's 22-17, and New York is 23-17.
Yeah.
So it's not, like Milwaukee's a title favorite. Boston's a title favorite. Philadelphia is a title favorite. Those are teams with, massive amount of wins at home, massive amount of wins on the road. Yeah. The one that kind of throws everything off is the weird Warrior split, where they're 33-8 at home. And the Kenny Caraway stat is in play on Friday.
I think they're going to get it. Even if they don't get it, then they play Portland after that. In Portland, they played their last home game last night.
That's right. Yeah, they play Portland.
So I think they're going to get 10.
That's wild.
10
That's crazy.
Road wins on the season.
That's incredible.
But I mean, to your point, and when you said a key word there to me, consistent. That's just what they've been all year. They've been consistent. I know a lot of people want to talk about they've been healthy and all this. No, they played good basketball. You guys haven't. When you're talking about Phoenix or Memphis, or like Memphis was struggling with John Morant there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Phoenix was struggling with Devin Booker there. The Warriors were struggling with Steph Curry there.
Mm-hmm.
Like these teams, it's not just about injuries. They haven't been consistent across the board the way the Kings have. And they've had what's the stat that they haven't lost 3 games in a row since like November or something like that?
End of November, yeah.
Come on, man. That ain't got a whole lot to do with health because they're losing games, but they're just making sure they buckle down and they stay locked in to make sure 2 doesn't turn to 3 and 4 or 5.
I'll start with that Indiana game. I think it was the first time we heard that line. We got to make sure that, was it 3? 3 doesn't become 4, and it didn't.
Yeah. I really cannot wait for these playoffs. Every time somebody says something ridiculous, because like the whole thing about it is like I said it a number of different times. Obviously, the Kings could lose in the first round. Obviously, it's no guarantee, but to sit up there and be so definitive for the reasons that just actually aren't true at all. I've debunked them. Like it's been debunked. Like no experience and all that. Like it's been debunked. Like that's actually not true.
But it's really easily repeatable.
Yeah, like that's the crazy thing. All that being said, and it's literally not true. They say it so much, so definitively.
Yeah,
it's literally not true
because but it takes too much effort to look up and see that it's not true. Like you had to do work to find all of those numbers and all of those teams. It's just easier to repeat something that's just said without.
They won't be saying it like so matter of fact, but to sit up there and be like, yeah, this is the reason. Like then that's the whole other thing. It's not even a basketball reason. Like this is the reason why. Like what?
Well, yeah. Well, yeah. Well, maybe there isn't a psychological reason for the playoffs to change. There might be a psychological reason that the Kings kicked the ass of the Dallas Mavericks tonight. That team looks broken. Yeah. Let me rephrase that. We know that they're not playing well. That team sounds broken.
Yeah.
Like listening to them yesterday, all of the clips that came out of Luka and the Jalen Brunson stuff and being shut down. And Luka's like, I don't want to be shut down as long as we have a chance to make the playoffs. I want to play. We know it's a slim chance, but I want to play. They sound beat. And I don't know how you get past that, knowing like the window is open, but it's cracked. It's not even opened. It's like it's cracked.
I don't think it's somebody forgot to roll it all the way up. Like you thought you rolled the window.
That's an old school window too, where you got to roll it up. Yeah.
You thought you rolled it all the way up and then you're driving and there's some wind. I guess I didn't roll it all the way up. Like that's.
Does your car have a thing where you turn and you roll the window up?
No.
I know it doesn't. No, I was just saying because you reached over to roll up the window. I was like, when was the last time you had to roll up a window like that in your car?
I got a funny story I'll tell.
Kenny's car, you just hit the button and say, roll up window.
That's when I talk to it. That's what happens.
And it rolls up the window.
I talk to it. Stop.
You can talk to your car.
I can't.
Yes,
you can.
You can talk to your car.
I can't. But look,
if I ask Siri if the Dallas Mavericks are broken, I feel like she'd be like, yeah, they are wounded.
Dallas Mavericks are broken.
Yeah, that's what she would say. Or she would say, that's not nice. Hey, that's not nice.
But then you got guys like Tim Hardaway Sr. coming up, and
so what he say?
The NBA
you mentioned
Central.
That. Uh-huh. Oh boy.
Tim Hardaway. Now, NBA Central actually does.
I think I'm confusing it with the other one that blocked everybody.
Yeah.
After the Domas Tyrese stuff.
It's not the NBA Central. They really just report the news.
Yeah,
If there's a quote out there, they'll be like, say whatever. But Tim Hardaway Sr. blasts Luka Doncic and calls him a crybaby. Quote: "They're missing a leader out there. Luka is not a leader. Kyrie is not a leader." And his son plays on the team. He's right. Like he's right.
Yeah, I think he's right about Luka. I don't know about Kyrie.
I don't know if Kyrie's a leader.
Yeah,
I don't think Kyrie is malcontent the way people make him out to be. But I wouldn't classify him as a leader.
Can we just mention
people follow him, but I don't know if he's a leader.
Kyle says Kenny tagging Luka on his IG story was just perfect.
When did I tackle?
You tagged him today with the Luka I'm coming for you pick. You posted it twice without a Luka tag, and then you were like, you know what? I'm going to tag Luka Doncic in this.
I did.
This man, after all we did yesterday about your Dick Sherman remarks,
I just saw
your Warren Sapp. I don't think Luka's seen that clip, so you're probably.
I just said
fine.
the Kings are coming for you.
I don't.
The other day I had to tag Ice Spice.
You why?
Because it was when I was on 102.5 and
Kenny Carraway?
Yeah. I was talking about the Kings, but Ice Spice's picture was on there.
Oh, I saw that.
And I had Ice Spice. Hey, you're there, Kings. I'm talking Kings.
Light the
Ice
beam,
Spice.
baby. Light the beam. Yeah, I don't disagree with Tim Hardaway in that regard. I don't know how, it's not our job to fix it. I don't know how they're going to fix it. I don't know how they get through these next few games, to be honest with you. I truthfully, I don't want, I get where we're at in the season. Dallas is rough right now. And Sacramento, we talked about Sacramento can't literally put the nail in the coffin tonight for Dallas, but they sure as hell could do it figuratively. Because if you get out there and you get up early on Dallas, they'll quit.
Oh, for sure.
Maybe not all of them will quit.
Yeah.
Some of them will.
I agree.
And both of those guys are listed as probable tonight.
Yeah, well,
or questionable. Sorry, I think they're listed as questionable tonight.
So that's the whole other elephant in the room. Like, they probably shouldn't even be playing. They probably shouldn't be wanting to win as an organization.
I think it boils down to there's no evidence, and that's a tough decision to make. It's easy for us to sit here and say, "Oh, you keep your pick," or you need to do everything you can to keep that pick, right? But it's also, you have to ask yourself, can we get to the play-in? If we get to the play-in, can we win? Can we get to the playoffs? Like, do we do more good by getting to the playoffs? And who knows what happened? We saw what happened last year. That wasn't a Western Conference final. That wasn't one of the two best teams in the Western Conference last year. But they got where they needed to go. They got to the Western Conference Finals. Is that stronger than, can you even reasonably put that together?
No, I would say no.
No, I don't think you can either. But that's a conversation they have to have with themselves. Can we reasonably put this together? Because if not, we have to sit Luka down and we have to sit Kyrie down and tell them why we're doing what we're doing. And you might have to sit down another player or two just to ensure, because you can't sit those guys and mess around and win.
Yeah.
Because you've stated a clear direction of your franchise if Luka and Kyrie don't play tonight, at least for now. You've said
they're still listed as probable?
I think probable or questionable. I know James tweeted it earlier. I don't remember which one it was, but I think it all just boils down to, I think they're just using this time to figure out what they're going to do at 5:30. I don't think they know.
They are probable, by the way.
They're probable. Okay. I don't know which one's higher. Is probable higher than questionable?
Yeah, probable is like 75%.
Okay. I just think they're thinking about what they're going to do tonight. I genuinely don't think they know.
Luka, we're coming for you.
That's not the end of the quote. It's not the end of the quote. We'll come back. We'll take a look at, you mentioned this earlier. We should probably talk about it a little bit more. Regardless of what happens tonight, the Kings have an opportunity to put the Warriors in the play-in, to potentially put the Warriors in the play-in tournament on Friday. We could talk about the two sides to that coin. We'll look at the schedules for the other Western Conference team. 2 isn't out of the picture yet. We could talk about that. Talk more about Alex Len. Draymond Green expanded on his thoughts on the collective bargaining agreement. Don't do that. I'm not taking a shot at Draymond Green. I think he missed one really important caveat, one really important note to all of these new collective bargaining agreement things. We'll tell you what that is when we return here. It's Thilo and KC, brought to you by Sky River Casino. Get in on the action. Sky River Casino is the place to play with over 2,000 of the newest slot machines and over 80 table games. Sky's the limit if you're 21 and over at Sky River Casino. We're back here with more on Sacramento Sports Leader, ESPN 1320. Grab some water.
Mickey. Look, we're coming for you. The boys on lion. Oh, that's the homie. I know that person. Shout out to my guy June, opening up the Dude brand store in Arden Mall next Saturday. Shout out to my guy. All right. Let's see. What team do you want to see Luka on, KC? I don't care where Luka goes. Luka can stay with the Mavericks. Just as long as the Mavericks stink. Slammy in the house. Yeah. Slammy on Twitch. Let's see. The problem, Kyrie show Luka flat earth videos on YouTube. Come on. Chalupa Doncic. I don't know why that made me chuckle.
Oh, Slammy, the
Chalupa
lemon
Doncic.
bars are gone.
Wait, what?
I was going to bring you one, but they're gone. Slammy, they're all gone. Slammy's grandparents brought us some treats. She's walking back. She's gonna walk right into your other way. She's gonna walk right into the frame now.
Kim. She heard us today.
Yeah, them lemon bars must have been a hit because why do I get your show preview in the middle of the show?
I don't know. Got put out before the show started.
I don't I think I got to teach Kenny how to use Instagram. This happens every day.
I put it out before the show.
I see that, but it just went to your story right now.
It must be a Wi-Fi thing.
I think what happens is you have to stay on the story until it loads. Did you open your phone during the commercial break?
I opened it a little before the commercial break.
Because it says you did it 2 hours ago, and I received it at 1:43.
That's just uncalled for.
So I'm gonna start posting show previews when the show's over that Kenny Caraway records in the parking lot.
I'm giving the people that authentic vibe, man. A day in the life. A day in the life. I'm gonna start doing them in the studio.
A day in the life of Kenny Caraway.
D-Lo and KC.
I get to be a part of it.
We walk into the Odyssey building. Mm-hmm. Even though it's not the Odyssey building,
it's a building.
Yeah. We
have our own area.
Yeah.
It's always fun to walk in. Did you hear they put radio stations up there?
Did somebody say that?
Yeah. Yeah, I hear them talking. Did you hear that? They put radio stations up there. It's a weird building. Like there's always people like eating in the lobby. It's like this.
That kind of needs to
like this is like a common area. Like what is this?
I don't think this is I don't know.
And dudes who wear like those low jeans need to be very like aware of themselves when they sit down.
Well,
because my guy downstairs was like right by the staircase, and it was like I don't know, like bro, you like what are you doing right now? Like, can you not feel that? Like, do you not feel the air? How do you not know what is going on right now? Everyone who walked up or down the stairs saw that.
Oh,
like, how do you not know?
Hey man, shout out to our office mates. I don't know who they are, where they come from, but very nice people.
They're wonderful people. I don't know.
I mean, I'm assuming they're nice people. I don't ever talk to
them. Join us tonight at the Fieldhouse American Sports Pub. We'll be watching the game.
It's going to be a good time, baby.
Yeah, we're going to have a blast.
It's going to be a good time.
Our plan is to watch the game for sure. It's going to be on all of the TVs. We're going to be hanging out. We're going to be hanging out. I know they've got great food there. He's got to know if he texts me, I'm going to say something.
Uh-oh.
Matt George is going to come through.
Okay. Let's go.
I've gotten a text that Kyle Madsen is coming through.
Ooh, the stars are pulling up.
I mean, that's not even to mention Slammy's coming through.
Slammy in the house.
Like, I don't even know if our crew out here is coming. Have we checked to see?
I think a couple of them are.
Man, yeah. We're
Kim and Mia said they was pulling up.
Mia's coming through?
That's what the
look
streets
at
are
that,
saying.
boy. We're going to have to. We ain't going to say the biggest name that we were told was coming because God knows what that could cause. But looked at the text on Saturday like, really? Oh, okay. All right. So, but it's going to be a fun time tonight for sure.
It's going to be a playoff preview for how it's going to go down in the playoffs. These watch parties.
Yeah, we I don't know for sure. I'm very confident we'll announce a watch party on Monday. Don't know for sure, but pretty confident we'll announce a watch party Monday. If we don't Monday, we definitely will Tuesday. But we've got you covered for those road games here for the Sacramento Kings coming up in the playoffs. Even if we're just on the air and we're like, hey, let's just all meet, ... We'll do that too.
Yeah,
we're going to do what we got to do.
We'll meet at Jack in the Box.
They got TVs there? Why would we? Why?
Just staying true. Well,
we're going to listen to the G-Man? Like what?
No,
we doing?
We got phones nowadays.
Oh, we're just going to all gather around and watch on our phones. Boy, that sounds... Kenny's really selling this. The Jack in the Box on Freeport.
That's where I watched Floyd Mayweather versus Conor McGregor on my phone in a McDonald's in Paramount.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I was moving day, and the whole thought was, yeah, man, because I went out there Friday, moving back to Sacramento. I was like, yeah, we're gonna load this truck up. I'll be on the road by like 10 a.m. Get to Sacramento, be able to watch the fight. I didn't leave Paramount till 9 p.m. So I was like, look, man, I need to take a break. Let me watch this fight. And yeah, watch that McDonald's on the phone.
I've watched 2 Floyd fights that I felt like were an absolute waste of time. That was one, and Manny Pacquiao was the other.
I thought Manny Pacquiao fight was a little better than people give it credit for.
Okay, I didn't. Just like, this is dumb.
The Conor fight was great. What you talking about?
I didn't.
Get the hell out of Conor.
That was one of my thing was moments. And I get
beat him into looking like Triple H.
It's why Floyd like makes the money he does. Like, knock his ass out and keep it moving. Like, it was clear early. Oh, he's just toying with them. Like, he's just trying to keep this alive. Conor won around. Like, oh my God. Like, Floyd could end this dude any second.
Floyd didn't even train for that fight.
I'm sure he didn't.
He said he was at the day parties the whole time. They got pictures of him at the day parties leading up to the fight.
The Sacramento Kings chances. Phone lines are open for you, by the way. 916-909-1320. If you want to get in on the phone lines, of course, you could jump in the chatty house on twitch.tv/ESPN1320 and youtube.com/ESPN1320. The Sacramento Kings still have an opportunity to grab the 2 spot. It's not really an outrageous thought either when you realize, I don't think it's likely, by the way, just don't think it's outrageous. Memphis, they've got the Pelicans coming up. Obviously, that has huge ramifications for the New Orleans Pelicans. They've got the Bucks. These are all road games, by the way, at New Orleans, at Milwaukee, and they end at Oklahoma City.
I think I saw somewhere where Ja and somebody else isn't playing today
Against the Pelicans.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's not really a big game for Memphis. It's a really big game for New Orleans, though.
Well, I mean, but like it's one of those things, though. Like if Memphis sits around and thinks like it's not a big game, we got the 2 seed locked up. You mess around, it'll be one game back tonight. And remember, all the Kings got to do is tie Memphis because they got the tiebreakers.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, maybe they feel secure. I mean, it is
the Kings would have to win out.
The Kings would have,
or could they go 2-1?
They can go 2-1.
No, because the
Grizzlies would have to lose out.
Yeah, the Grizzlies would have to lose out. Yeah. Pull within one tonight. Yeah. And we mentioned this earlier. The Warriors will be playing for the Kenny Caraway stat on Friday at the Golden One Center, looking for their 10th road win of the season.
Are they going to
a number that was really funny when you brought it up like 3 months ago? But here they are with 2 games left, looking to get their 10th win of the season.
Warriors fans, Dub Nation, they're going to meet the Warriors at the airport when they come home after getting their 10th win.
The morning roasters are going to be out in full effect. 10th road win, baby. Man, that is such an insane stat.
Yeah.
The Golden State Warriors have 9 road wins. That is absurd. Absolutely absurd.
But the Kings, they can make life hard on the Warriors with the win on Friday.
Yeah, so if they beat the Warriors,
it's not a guarantee, but it would open the door for them to be a 7 or 8 seed.
Yeah, because they would have to be below, because the Clippers or the Lakers, someone's going to lose tonight. And if
somebody's going to win.
Right. And so the Warriors, you mentioned this earlier, the Warriors are off tonight, though, and they're off the next 2 nights. They'll drop down to 6, regardless of who wins. That's not true. I don't know what the tiebreaker is with the Golden State Warriors. And
JD John Dickinson said last night, Warriors are 5 right now.
Yeah.
They will be 6 no matter what tonight.
And so either the Clippers or the Lakers will be 5th.
Yeah.
So if the Kings beat them on Friday, they're probably not going to finish worse than 7th. The Warriors.
Well, I don't know what that. Probably not. Probably not. I don't know what that whole. If the Pelicans had to win out or whatever, but the thought is, if the Pelicans, Warriors, Clippers, and Lakers finish with the same record,
yeah,
the Warriors will be 8th in like almost any of those scenarios.
But so the Pelicans would have to win out.
Really matter.
The Pelicans would have to win out because the Warriors. Even if the Warriors got Portland,
they're winning.
Yeah, I mean, they got Portland on Sunday, so
they only got 2 games left, just Kings and Portland. So, I mean, they got 38 wins. Worst they're probably going to end up is with 39
losses. Yeah, they're 42-38 right now. The Clippers and the Lakers are both 41-38. And the New Orleans Pelicans are 40-39. So the Pelicans have that one against the Grizzlies tonight.
Yeah, I think they got Minnesota in the season.
They should have one more game, and they do. It's against New York. So they've got Memphis, New York, both at home, and then they close the season out at Minnesota. Where is this right? Every single game starts at 12:30 on on Sunday. So we'll have the playoff schedule for Sports Sunday. We'll have the playoff schedule, and we'll know when the Kings play. Though some people
we won't know.
Some people seem to know.
I know people cracking the code out here.
What do you mean we won't know?
Well, they'll be. Well, I was just assuming if they got to 2, we wouldn't know. But if they're 3, we'll know who they play.
Well, even if they got to 2, you'd know when they'd play. Wouldn't they tell you when they would play?
Maybe.
I feel like they have a start date no matter what happens. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I mean it's Saturday
because they're hosting.
Yeah, it's Saturday and Sunday, but we don't know if they'll play Saturday or Sunday. I think. Well, I'll put it to you like this: they'd probably play on Saturday if they were the 2, because the team that wins that second playing game to be the 8th seed, that game is on Friday. They play the 1 seed on Sunday. So we would know that, but that might not even matter. Like you said, if they're the 3, then they'll know who they're playing.
Yep.
And we'll figure out when they're playing.
Yeah, and it's pretty confident no shot at New Orleans. They're playing either Golden State, the Clippers, or the Lakers.
I think so too.
And all 3 of those teams are just vying to get to 6. That's all they want. No one wants the 5. They all want the 6. Obviously, no one wants the 7. They just want the 6. At least that's what Brian Windhurst told me. Everybody wants that 6th spot. Draymond Green, you're listening to D-Lo and KC on KIFM West Sacramento 98.5 FM, KRX QHD2 Sacramento, ESPN 1320. Always live on the free Odyssey app, live on Twitch, live on YouTube as well. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up as well. Jump in the chatty house, have some fun wherever you are. We appreciate you for being with us. Draymond Green dropped the latest edition of the Draymond Green Show and talked about the collective bargaining agreement.
This is the thing that I don't like about the CBA. I just feel like they're always trying to take money out of our pockets. We do what we can to build up this league. And if you want to take money out of our pockets, then you got to make sure you bring it back in. Because I'll tell you this, I'm bringing in the money.
Yeah, I don't think he said any of that, to be honest. I don't know what show you listen to. I don't believe he said any of that. But he did talk about the players, which I think was his tweet, was the players lose every time. And when the collective bargaining agreement came out, it was like, man, where are they losing money? Like, yeah, like I don't know. But and I'm looking at this article right here, and maybe I'm the idiot because the article says Draymond Green is exactly right about how the new CBA unfairly screwing the Warriors. So
that's hilarious.
That was the crux of Draymond's thing. So Draymond, and I think you'll enjoy this, went into a lengthy tirade about how the Golden State Warriors will be the last dynasty in the history of the NBA because the new collective bargaining agreement won't allow dynasties to be formed. And he talked about what we talked about with Trista and James Ham, and that's the elimination of those. I don't know that this is the proper name for them, but the super taxpayers, the Clippers, probably the Celtics, the Warriors, obviously, you're going to lose the ability to have a taxpayer mid-level exception, which is what they use to sign Dante DiVincenzo. So by that formula, Dante DiVincenzo and players like him are the reason that the Golden State Warriors have been able to be a dynasty. The part that I think, and clearly, again, the headline from the San Francisco newspaper, Draymond Green, it is exactly right about new CBA unfairly screwing the Warriors. The this new collective bargaining agreement, it has provisions that help teams like the Warriors. Because the Warriors, whether we like it or not, built the crux of their team through the draft. And that Steph and Clay and Draymond and Jordan, all of those guys, they drafted those guys. Now we've been over, and he brings up Kevin Durant in the discussion, which I can't make the math work on that because they had cap space. There was nothing weird about that.
Right.
They had cap space because of the deal Steph Curry was on to sign Kevin Durant. When Steph Curry's contract came up, you're allowed to go over the cap if you're willing to pay, the penalties for it to sign your own player. There's nothing that eliminates that
Right.
in the collective bargaining agreement. Maybe more what he's talking about, and I still am not quite sure how this would be a problem, is the sequence of the Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant didn't leave.
Mm-hmm.
They traded him.
Mm-hmm.
They did a sign and trade that allowed them to land D'Angelo Russell.
Mm-hmm.
D'Angelo Russell allowed them to land Andrew Wiggins.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I missed it. I don't know where sign and trades and trading, I don't know where that's been eliminated. The only thing that I saw eliminated was the mid-level tax exemption.
Mm-hmm.
If that is what forms a dynasty, then I've been completely missing out on this thing for years. But the CBA has the new CBA has structured things like even for second round picks to where if your team is built through the draft, there will be far less penalties for you,
mm-hmm.
which is exactly what the Golden State Warriors did. Now, maybe in the sense of the Lakers or the Heatles, the Miami Heat, maybe those versions of dynasties
mm-hmm.
are over. But like the San Antonio Spurs, Golden State Warriors dynasty, like I don't even know that the Heat is a dynasty. That was just like a moment in time.
Yeah.
The CBA doesn't eliminate that.
No, not at all.
It encourages that.
Right. Not at all. What I got from the CBA is it makes it harder for players to move around, essentially. Like they can still do it free agency if there's cap space, all this other stuff, but there's more incentive to stay with the team that drafted you and developed you and got you to, where you're this marquee free agent. You're 100% right when it talks about it eliminates their ability to sign mid-level guys. I think I heard somewhere, I think Bobby Marks or Zach Lowe said it eliminates their ability to get buyout guys.
Yes.
So
correct.
There's that. And that's one of the more overrated things in all the NBA, like the buyout market. Like these guys don't swing NBA championships more times than not. And they don't stay for years upon years. It's usually like a rental, then they move on to their long-term contract. So I don't know what Draymond is talking about. Like I said, maybe I missed it. Warrior fans they just cry over everything. This is awesome. They always cry. Wah.
I was trying to find Draymond's exact quote from his podcast to where he's talking about the end of the dynasties and the Golden State Warriors. Hey, it's cool. We're the last dynasty ever, but this is it. Like there'll never be another because the way that they've ruined it. So I was like, what is this article talking about? Because clearly I'm missing something. So that's me. I'm not. This is all about Donte DiVincenzo.
Who I don't even think played in the fourth quarter last night.
This is all about the ability to sign Donte DiVincenzo. And I recognize timing is everything. Donte DiVincenzo has been very, very good for them.
Mm-hmm.
And his role dramatically shifted when Andrew Wiggins had to go home for a little while. And now Warriors fans are deeply in their feelings about it. I'm sorry. I apologize to Warriors fans. The Warriors apparently are in their feelings over this because they just realized what a steal Donte DiVincenzo turned out to be for them when they had to utilize him in a greater degree. And now they know moving forward, they won't be able to do that.
Right.
You'll be able to sign Draymond Green to as much money as you want, or Klay Thompson to as much money as you want, or Steph Curry to as much money as you want, or any player that you acquire during the season, like Andrew Wiggins, for as much money as you want, as long as Joe Lacob and that crew are ready to cut the check. But you can't go get Donte DiVincenzo, and my God, is that a game changer?
That's great. Like if
that's incredible, man.
If Donte DiVincenzo was not on the Warriors roster this year, their record be the exact same.
Disagree.
I disagree. They can't win on the road.
They can't. He's been instrumental to them winning at home.
Like he's a really good ball player. He's had a good impact on him.
He had to play a lot with Wiggins out.
Yeah,
he's been really good.
Absolutely, he's good. Their record will be the same. They've been under. They've been at 7 to 9 wins.
They might only have 8 road wins
2
if
months.
Donte wasn't there.
But it's just This is why
These dudes.
This is why don't nobody like them, man.
This is crazy.
This is why don't nobody like. All they do is cry.
Draymond Green is right. Wow.
I've never heard winners cry so much in my life. That's all they do is cry and complain.
That's incredible.
The franchise and the fans just whine endlessly. So unfair to the Dubs.
I know another quote. I don't know why I'm struggling so hard to find this quote, but he also called it a he said I'm not picking on Draymond. It's just funny. He said it's like instituting a hard cap. And I'm just going to put hard cap next to slavery as things that I don't think Draymond Green knows what they are. I don't think he knows what a hard cap is. He already proved he didn't know what slavery was. I don't think he knows what a hard cap is, because not being able to sign Dante DiVincenzo is not a hard cap. As a matter of fact, your team without Dante DiVincenzo is still dramatically over the salary cap. Yeah. It's just saying you don't get the same provisions that we put in place for other teams around the league.
That's it. And once again,
and if you're that far over the cap, if you're in one of those super you're clearly one of the better teams in the league, or you have one of the worst general managers on the planet.
Yeah. It's one of those things where, no, it's not a hard cap because you can still do it. Like the price has just gone up for it to be able to do whatever. Like you can't sign the mid-level guy, but like if they want to keep Draymond, Clay, Steph, and Wiggins, they can do it. In a hard cap, you can't do that. Can't do it. So I don't know, man. Like
he need to check out the NFL. That's a hard cap.
It's a hard cap.
That's a hard cap.
Simple as that. I don't know. I don't understand why they're like this.
Quite frankly, with this new CBA, dynasties are over. There will not be a dynasty. So you all complained about the Golden State Warriors. Oh, man, KD came to the Warriors and blah, blah, blah. You don't have to deal with that anymore. But you'll also lose a huge part of the game, a huge part of sports, which is dynasties being built. So, hey, we the last dynasty. I can't complain about that. I mean, it's ridiculous. Don't get me wrong. You'll always remember us because we're the last dynasty. You'll be able to speak. We're the last dynasty you'll be able to speak of because the way that this salary cap is set up, no way the Warriors should be punished like a team that has went out and got players.
The Warriors have been punished.
There's a new luxury tax apron preventing teams like the Warriors, Clippers, and Celtics from acquiring essentially mid-level talent. And I think that's absolutely insane. It's essentially creating a hard cap in a way. I think that's going to affect players more than people realize, or else I don't think they would have agreed to it.
There's a reason CJ didn't have him in the meetings.
Man.
There's a reason. Oh, Draymond.
I'm sorry. I'm just reading. I'm reading.
Look, man.
Oh, Draymond didn't. He didn't read it. He didn't read it.
He didn't read the CBA.
He didn't read the CBA. Something I think that's absolutely ridiculous that's not addressed. The Golden State Warriors, as you know, Steph Curry was drafted, Klay Thompson was drafted, Draymond Green drafted, Kevon Looney drafted, Jordan Poole drafted. I'm naming those players because the fact that that's essentially a rule being implemented to essentially destroy what teams haven't been able to accomplish, and I think that's utterly ridiculous. No, this CBA sets up for teams that do that. Oh, Draymond.
Draymond, one of them people that just complain just to complain, bro.
Draymond, no, you. Draymond, come on, man. Oh,
he was just all wrong.
That's a wild dude. He just got everything wrong, man. He need to call Keith.
Go ahead.
We need to tag him in Trista's podcast so we can listen to Keith Smith talk about this.
The only person that don't complain over there is the only person that I appreciate everything he does. That's Steph Curry.
Oh yeah,
Steph Curry don't never complain.
No, Steph that dude.
He just gets things done.
Steph is that dude. We'll come back. James Ham going to join us at the top of the hour. And is the MVP race over? Someone said it was. We'll talk about that when Dealing with KC, brought to you by Sky River Casino, returns here on Sacramento Sports Leader, ESPN 1320. I don't know why my voice changed like that.
They took it back to them 102.5 days.
Sweet love in between the sheets.
Yeah.
Thinking about French fries.
Oh man, I'm so hungry. I really am. I'm really hungry. I haven't had anything to eat today.
Jesse's got cookies and M&M bags everywhere in the studio.
Let's see.
I got 2 M&Ms for the price of 1 today.
Oh man, you got hooked up that way?
Yeah, because it'll get stuck, so it'll give you 2 of them after that.
I'm not even hating because I had that fortune before. Can't get mad at it. Here we go. 13th round. It's your main man, Kenny Caraway. Shout out to the dope ones. Big ups to my man over there. Shout out to the Jordan brand. And shout out to Cola CMOS. You already know what it is, man. It's always love. Cola CMOS. I got pineapple today. There's some good stuff. I'm about to go in on this. I've been waiting this whole time, so I didn't drink it all. Cola CMOS, colacmos.com. Go check it out. Big ups to the homegirl Cola. It's official. Devin Haney taking on Vasily Lomachenko for Haney's undisputed lightweight championships, May 20th in Las Vegas. This is a great fight, first and foremost. I want to be perfectly clear. A great fight. You got 2 of the top guys in the division going at it for Haney's undisputed crown. Lomachenko, been one of the greats in that division for a long time. Devin Haney, he's the new king. It's a great matchup. I think Devin Haney takes care of Lil Loma relatively easy. He's too small. Loma too small. You know, I know he's quick. He's super skilled. I'm not disputing his skill and everything he does, but Haney knows how to box. He's going to stay behind that jab. He's going to use that reach. And Lil Loma's not going to be able to get inside. And if he does, Devin Haney's quick enough to make him pay. That's the whole thing about it. So it's a great fight. I'm not saying it's going to be some type of, well, maybe I am saying it's going to be a blowout. I think Devin Haney wins easily. I think he wins easily. Like I said, Lomachenko, he's a great fighter, but I think the size and the skill of Devin Haney is going to make this relatively easy work. It's going to be akin to what he did to George Kambosos, although Loma's a better fighter, but it's going to be akin to that. I'm telling you that right now. Can't wait to see the fight, though. May 20th, Las Vegas, ESPN pay-per-view. Can't wait for it, man. It's a great fight, and it's setting up for a great first half of boxing continuing in May. So I can't wait, man. That's the 13th round. Lil Loma, man, he too small, man. Lil Loma too small, man. You gonna hit him with the too small. Oh yeah, I meant to talk about that. I think I'll talk about that on Friday. Loma saying he's undefeated. You see that, Jesse? Loma said he ain't got no losses.
Yeah, I saw that.
Come on, man.
I respect it. If you're gonna say it, at least say it with your chest.
I saw your tweet about that.
Come on, man. This guy, he's got 2 losses. He says, in my mind, I don't have any losses. Oh, okay. That's how that works.
That's for him. He'd be telling his grandkids, yeah, your grandpa never lost. And you know what? They're going to believe him.
They're going to believe him. There's something going on around my birthday. Oh, that's what it is. You see that that festival that's going to be in Napa? I think Dave Chappelle Festival or something. It's something crazy, man. Like, they got like, I'm going to try and pull it up. I forgot who had it on their Twitter. I know Mary J. Blige is going to be there. That's what caught my eye. De La Soul's going to be there. Didn't catch my eye. But, yeah. Where is it at?
I think Mary J. was the last thing I heard in the car. Real Love remix. Look up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. No, Miss Mary J. Ain't
Oh,
a damn
Nas
thing.
is gonna be there.
Mm.
Chance the Rapper.
James Ham set to join us at the top of the hour. We're excited to see everybody at the Fieldhouse American Sports Pub. Watch the game tonight. Kings, of course, play at 5:30. We are going to have a blast. We're going to have fun no matter what happens in the game, but I promise you we're going to have even more fun if the Kings beat the crap out of Dallas.
I'm going to be talking my talk. Okay,
I'm going to need you to behave a little bit because I know what that means, and I know how you feel about Luka Doncic, so I'm going to need you to.
Hey, man, hey, look, Luka is who he is, man. He all right. He cool. Luka's cool. Like, he seems like a cool enough guy. I don't have no problem with him.
You talk.
I don't think I have a problem with anybody. I don't even have a problem with Draymond. He just makes me laugh.
What'd you call Devin Booker when you was watching him?
That was
a couple.
That was in the heat of battle that I wasn't.
Well, we're going to be watching the game tonight. Like that. What you mean it was in the heat of battle? Like, that's what we doing tonight. We watching the game.
It's going to be in the news. Local radio host kicked out of bar after he gets too rowdy at company party.
He's going to get the Pam treatment at Chili's. He's not going to be allowed back in. See, you haven't seen that episode, have you?
Office was on last
Pam
night.
got a lifetime
Again, on Comedy Central.
It's like, literally on all day on Comedy Central.
It's like, I want to see the end of this basketball.
I feel like Comedy Central airs just one show all day. It's either Parks and Rec, The Office, Seinfeld, maybe South Park, and that's it.
And then on the guide where it says what's on, The Office is on there. Boy, it was on there for a long time. I probably could have got eight episodes in last night.
How many did you get in?
None, because basketball was on.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like later in the.
No. I was watching the Warriors game.
Yeah. I didn't get to see this game, but
what game?
Joe.
Oh,
the 76ers.
I didn't see it. I did. Hey, Jesse, what you think, man?
I mean, he did what he always does. I think he's averaging 37 and 12 against Celtics this season. I mean, he dominated. They couldn't stop him at all. I think he was 20 of 25 from the field in this game.
And what was the final score in that game? Wasn't it low scoring?
It was 103, 101, I believe.
And he scored 52? He scored 52 at 103 points?
Ooh. I think it's the second time he scored more than half the season for them.
Damn.
Wow.
And what happened? See, I just I saw the what happened with the missed free throw late?
So Marcus Smart missed a free throw, caught it, passed it to Horford. Horford dished it back to Derek White, and he hit a three. The refs called it foul, but then they reviewed it and overturned it.
And that was a bad overturn. I thought he got fouled.
Yeah, I thought he was fouled too. But
I thought that was a clear foul. That was crazy. Yeah, JoJo's the real deal.
And just for that game, I mean, standings wise, that game didn't mean anything.
Yeah, no, it's still the same.
Like, Milwaukee's going to be 1, Boston's going to be 2, Philadelphia's going to be 3.
Yeah, I think Boston wins the Atlantic.
That reminds me. I don't even think I put this in my notes. Did I? Oh, okay, I did, and it's right here. Have you seen what Donovan Mitchell's doing right now?
4 straight 40-point games.
Donovan Mitchell is just on a run right now. And you're right. 43 last night, 40, 42, 44. That's the headline. 4 straight 40-plus games. Go back 22, 31, 31, 20, 21, 23, 42. He's had I had this number earlier. So he has 8 40-point games. What was it? 8 40-point games in like the last month.
Damn. You can make an argument for him to be in that MVP category.
100%.
He's
100%. Yeah,
sick.
He's 28.3 points per game. Cleveland, with the season they've had, played this season. He's notched 68 games this year. Donovan is having a phenomenal, very quietly, it feels like, is having a phenomenal year. Maybe it's because all of the MVP talk is on, the three big guys. But Donovan's been incredible.
The other thing about that is they've been where they've been pretty much all year. Like they've never been able to really crack that top.
Well,
3.
Given what happened last year, that's cool.
Yeah, no, that's
that's cool.
Absolutely fine for them.
That's cool.
But I think that plays into why they, you haven't really heard all.
They haven't been 1, 2, or 3.
Yeah, it's just they've been consistent. They've been there all year, and that's That's where they've been. And now we'll wait for the playoffs. So
only bad thing that happened to Donovan Mitchell is his 3-point record got obliterated.
ooh,
His rookie 3-point record just got
Ooh.
absolutely obliterated by Keegan Murray.
I do want to talk about that, but while we're still on the NBA and James, did you see what Luka said about not playing defense?
No.
Oh yeah. So Luka, where is it at? Shout out NBA Central again. Luka speaks out on his poor defense. I've been playing basketball for 3 straight years. 4 weeks in between, it was free. Sometimes it's really hard for me to play really hard on both ends. But obviously, the defensive end, I got to be way better. So essentially he's saying, I can't play good defense because I've been playing basketball for 3 straight years. And here's the problem with that. It doesn't affect you on the offensive end. Like you playing basketball 3 straight years doesn't tire you out on offense. You get your shots up, but I can't play defense. It's really hard because I've been playing 3 straight years. Stop, bro. Stop. Luka's starting to look funny in the light as a basketball player. Great talent. He's not a leader, and I don't know what he does out there as opposed to just being a great talent.
Is he just James Harden at this point?
Ooh.
He performs in the playoffs. He shows up.
Yeah, that's true.
He shows up.
Is the best I think we talked about this with Trista. Is the best thing that could happen to Dallas is Luka says, get me out of here? Or you
try to find a way to work with him. You don't.
But if the problem is him, and to be fair, yeah, I'm gonna be fair to Luka. I don't think Dallas has done a good job. I don't think they've done a good job building around him. I think that I like Kyrie Irving, the basketball player, a lot. He is otherworldly at times. But they shredded some key components of their team to land that they apparently didn't have a plan for. Because they were bad defensively. They weren't good defensively. Now they're awful defensively after that deal. And I don't know that they've done a very good job of constructing a team around him that works.
See, I disagree. I think. Well, here's your original point. He may be the thing that doesn't work.
Well, and then that's like I don't know that I can make that distinction yet. It's like the Luke Walton thing. Can Luke Walton coach? I don't know. His team sure sucks though. Right. Like his players aren't good. But I don't know if the man can coach, but his players are bad. Well, you could believe both, right? You could believe that the players are bad, and you could believe that he's a bad coach. Luka's teammates could not be conducive to building a team, whether it's Kyrie there without Luka or Jalen Brunson there without Luka. I don't know that team is constructed to win regularly.
Well, I thought,
but
what they
Luka
had,
Doncic point could still be true.
I thought what they had with Porzingis, Tim Hardaway Jr., and Jalen Brunson was the
most compelling team.
That was good core pieces around him, and Luka didn't want to give up the ball enough to get Porzingis involved.
Well, then how do you make
and
it?
You had a great coach.
If that's
and he ran him off.
And if that's the case, and it's hard to find flaws in any of that, what do you do that makes it work with Luka?
He is such a talent that you give it one more try. But now
I feel like this was the one more try.
It might have been because now your hands are tied. Now you don't have no money.
Well,
and you don't have no picks. Like, how are you going to get better?
You trade Luka and keep Kyrie. I'm not. I understand Kyrie comes with stuff, but from a basketball perspective, James pointed this out months ago. From a basketball perspective, and it's been echoed since then, there's going to be people who would rather play with Kyrie Irving than play with Luka Doncic. I don't know where Luka goes, what you get back for him. I don't know. But if they sign Kyrie to a hefty contract, a max or near max contract, I'd be on the lookout for them to trade Luka. Because if their idea is to sign Kyrie and just come back, we're going to be stepping all over Dallas for years because that ain't going to do it.
Then that's the whole thing. I don't think they can do if they brought Kyrie back on a sizable contract. I don't know if there's much more you could do. And if you don't have your pick,
yeah, and that's what I mean. Like if you're bringing Kyrie back, you can't do anything. You have to trade Luka. It's the only thing you have. You can't trade Kyrie. That ain't how this works. Sign Kyrie and trade Luka.
Maybe you like do these little moves, like you try to move Tim Hardaway Jr. I think he might be on an expiring next year. Maybe
what
you
are you gonna get for
that.
I like Tim Hardaway.
I don't know.
What are you gonna get?
You don't have picks to package with it no more. Like that's what you do. You would give.
There's
Tim
only
Hardaway
one
and
player
picks.
that gets picks back, like meaningful picks back.
That would be a haul. That would be a haul.
This a Kevin Durant like deal?
Yeah.
But he ain't Kevin Durant. Like if Luka's traded, do you think that like, oh man, maybe I should change something? Do you think something like clicks in him? Because there's no questioning Luka the player.
Right.
Luka's phenomenal. But he can't win.
No, to answer your question, no, nothing changes. Nothing changes. I believe he is who he is. And a lot of it is like, he's still young. I think he's like 24. He's still young. So maybe, people would say, oh, he changes, but he's been a professional for 10 years. Like this is who he is, which is a great talent. But even if the guy isn't more talented than him, you need more leadership on the roster with somebody like Luka.
He might need a pandemic. Remember Jokic? Jokic was big Jokic. The pandemic hits, and that dude who shows up in the bubble looked a lot different. Yeah. Now, I think he's found he's not as skinny as he was. He's not as big as he was. He found the happy medium, which, spoiler alert, it's worked out really, really well for him. Yeah. Luka, maybe, Luka's about to play basketball for 3 straight years. Bro, maybe you should stop.
Yeah.
Maybe you should stop for an off season. Focus on your health. I'll use the Tom Brady word. Focus on your pliability. Focus on your weight. Focus on those things. Put yourself in a better position next year. And maybe go Kevin Costner draft day and talk to your teammates.
Well, there's that too.
Because I don't know if Luka had a birthday party, if anyone's coming to his party.
And that's the thing. Like Luka, he can take time off all he wants. He can get in better shape all he wants. That's not the issue. He's talented. He performs. He performs. He's not a leader, and he really only plays one way. He's ball dominant. He's got to be in control of everything. I think that's one of the reasons why you see such a bad record with him and Kyrie out there, because I'm not sure he can play with another person that needs the ball. We saw that with Porzingis.
I think he's shown that he can score, and they've shown that they can score, but that doesn't equate to them winning.
That's what I'm saying. Like at what cost? Like you scoring and still doing.
Like it's the line you always use.
Doing his thing, then everything's fine.
But it's the line you always use. Okay, on a good night, you can get 40 from Luka and 40 from Kyrie. You're getting 90 from the Mavericks in that sense. Maybe you'll get like 100, but that's what you're getting. You're getting what those two get you, and the other guys are just waiting to go get the post-game meal because they ain't got nothing to do out there.
Right.
And then they're asked to play defense.
Yeah. When you're not playing defense,
they can't get the ball on the offensive end. You don't do anything on the defensive end, and they're asked to go play defense. And your coach is just a fan, just like everybody else.
I'm watching the game just like you.
I'll said it before and I'll say it again. Luka Doncic has turned Jason Kidd into an idiot. And I know that man is not dumb.
Yeah, Luka got to be better, man. He's just straight up got to be better. And I don't have any problem with people calling it out now because they've looked past it for a long time because he had some semblance of winning. But no, he's
had a semblance of excellence. He won overseas, but his excellence is, I don't know that he's ever won.
Why I say semblance is he made the playoffs 2 years. No. He got to the Western Conference Finals. Some people will look at that, and rightfully so, as successful, especially for somebody in their first 2-3 years in the league. So yeah, that's successful. That's semblance of success. But I think, like we already talked last year, shouldn't have happened. To be honest with you, he probably would have went out again in the first round.
But they did. But it did. You can't take it away from them.
Utah was falling apart as well. Utah and Phoenix both were falling apart at the seams.
And they took advantage of it. They should get credit for that.
They did, and he does. For me,
he's still 24.
Yeah, he's super young.
Is the most important question Nico Harrison and that group can ask themselves is, can he change? Can he be a leader? Can he be the guy to lead a basketball team? Because if the answer is yes, you have to do everything you can to build around him. And I'll say, I don't know what that is, whether you sign Kyrie or not. I have no idea what that is. But to me, everything starts with the answer to that question. Because if it's no, you're dead. Because you're already looking at him sideways if you don't think he could grow into a leader.
Right.
You've already put that in your head. You've got to get something while you can.
I agree. I wouldn't give up on him just because he's 24 years old.
I don't think they're doing
so talented.
Yeah.
I'd ride it out and see what happens.
I'm fascinated at what their plan is this offseason. Because I don't see it. They don't have pieces. They don't have anything.
And everybody else just getting better around them. They're going to be the ones looking on the outside looking in.
I forgot to mention this line because we went to the Mavericks. Doc Rivers said the MVP race is over after last night's performance.
I mean, it's over. Oh. It's over at this point.
Pretty close. I didn't hit any button. That was pretty close. He's riding for his guy, and there seems to be a lot of Joel Embiid momentum right now.
Yeah.
You're supposed to take in the total body of work, but you look for moments, right? MVP seasons have moments, and Joe had one last night against Boston while the Rockets beat the Nuggets by 21 in a game that, like, Jokic played in that game.
Yeah, and Malone was not happy after that one.
Malone's got him going out in the first round.
These coaches, man, they be in their bag sometimes.
Is there Malone
or Mike Brown? I'd target us too. Michael Malone, we'll be out in the first round.
That's what he said.
He did say, for full context, he said, if we play like that, we'll be out in the first round.
And he's right. If he plays like they did yesterday against Dallas, it's over. Or against Houston, excuse me. It's over.
Yeah.
I wanted to look at, I know we're kind of bouncing around here before James joins us. I wanted to look at Joel's logs recently. Oh my God. The month of February, 35, 31, 42, 39, 39, 34, 36, 38, 31, 37, 46. He's got some 20-point performances in 52, and he's played this year. How many games has Joe played this year? He's played 65 games this year.
Jeez.
33.3 points per game, 10.2 rebounds, 4.2 assists. He's shooting the best. He's shooting 4.7% above his career field goal percentage, shooting 3.9% above his career free throw percentage. He really is having a phenomenal season.
Do you think, because I've asked Jesse this, and I'll ask him again in a second, but before he said he's going to flame out. You think he has enough to carry this team to, let's just say, a conference finals?
It's not Joe. It's not Joe I'm worried about.
But he'd have to carry him. If the guy that you're worried about, that we're all worried about, doesn't show up like he normally doesn't, Joe would have to carry him. Do you think Joe has enough to carry him in the playoffs? I think he does. I don't know exactly how it'll play out. I think this year might be different between him and Boston if they match up, when they match up in that second round.
Go ahead.
Oh, the Celtics are too deep for the 76ers. They're going to need Harden to show up. The Sixers don't have that depth off the bench. I mean, like I said, this year, Joel's averaged 37, 12, 60% from the field against the Celtics. That's gotten them one win this season. It's the same thing as the last few years.
I think I agree with Jesse.
That's a scary proposition if you're a Sixers fan.
Like, here's the I could see a scenario where Joe averages 35 and 10 in a series that they lose. Like Joel Embiid's season could very well end with what more can that man do?
Yeah, I don't think there's ever been a time in the playoffs the last 5 or so years where it's like it's Joel's fault. He's done everything he can. It's the others.
It has to be Harden. And in some people's mind, not mine, but in some people's mind, it has to be Doc Rivers too. But to me, it starts with James. James Harden has the perception he has to shed. And it's that he is going to die figuratively at some point over the next 2 months. If he doesn't change, it's just damn shame what happened to Joel Embiid. That's going to be the conversation. That man's going to have a season for the ages, a postseason for the ages, and it's going to be, man, hate that happened to Joel.
That's going to be fascinating to watch what happens with Philly. Now, don't get it twisted. Still ain't no love for Philly over here. They could lose. I don't care.
Is it the Sixers or is it the city?
That's the city now. They can all get it.
I get that.
They can all get it.
That's a weird way of phrasing it.
But
it's like dealing with a sophomore class.
I like Joel, and I want to see him prosper. I think
he's one of the league's greats.
Yeah, I think he got enough this year to carry those guys, man.
Over Boston or Milwaukee?
I don't know if he could do it over both. I think he's got enough for one series.
I can't see it. Like, you need those other guys. Like, you can't do it by yourself.
You're talking James, Tobias.
Well, not even just James. Like, their bench is not. They can't compete with Boston. Their bench.
The one Anthony thing Melton, people were saying he's better than De'Aaron Fox.
People weren't. A person was. You can get Tobias to win it. Like, Tobias could win you a game. And maybe that's the thing. Like, Tobias could win you a game. But is he going to, like, if he does it in game 5, is he going to do that again in game 6 or game 7? You need James Harden to be consistent throughout the series, and you need those performances from.
You need
because James can't be an other.
Well,
that's the thing. Like, James Harden can't be an other.
You need one James Harden game. Here's the path to it. I don't know if they can get to it before Boston gets to 4, but you need one James Harden game, one Tobias game, and you'll win with 2 Embiid games.
No, I disagree. Embiid, you need 4 Embiid games. And those.
Well, when I say Embiid game, I'm talking about he has like 42.
So am I.
He can't. You're not. No, he's not. No, if that's what you need, you're not getting 4 40-point games from Joel. I think you can get 2. Win those 2. You got to win those 2. And then Harden can sprinkle a game in. That gets you a 3. And then you're going to need Tobias and Melton and Shake.
I think you're asking for a lot.
I think you are too.
It's a lot of hope.
Every time I watch Philly, like, in their entirety, maybe it's just bad timing, I'm frustrated with them. And I didn't get to watch last night's game. I was watching other stuff. But every time I'm going to watch the Sixers tonight. What the hell? Why do they look like this? Why are they getting their ass kicked like this?
Nothing's been the same since, and I'm not saying it's all his fault, but nothing's been the same since Ben passed up that dunk.
Well, I mean, that's not wrong.
Nothing's
Unfortunate. It's not wrong. James Ham joins us at the top of the 3:00 hour. Of course, we'll talk Kings basketball. The Sacramento Kings take on the Dallas Mavericks tonight, and we're going to watch the game together.
Yeah,
all of us together at the Fieldhouse American Sports Pub. We really hope you can come hang out. We hope you can get there early. We're expecting the Chatty House to be out in full force. As soon as the clock hits 4:00 and we run it back, we're going to be headed out there. So we're looking forward to seeing you again at the Fieldhouse American Sports Pub, and we're looking forward to talking to James Ham when he joins us next here on D'Lo and KC, brought to you by Sky River Casino on Sacramento Sports Leader, ESPN 1320.
This is something that we'll probably never talk about. Have you noticed how Jalen Carter's just destroyed all his opportunities at these pro days and stuff?
Yeah, I was reading. I think Florio wrote something on him last night or this morning.
It's really bizarre. Like
it is.
Like, damn, bro, just
unfortunate.
Yeah, just be in shape.
Yeah,
for these days.
It's really unfortunate.
Guy couldn't finish the workout.
Which rumors do you think are louder in the offseason? Moving Luka or moving Joel?
Oh, man. If I had to pick one, Luka.
If they don't get out the second round, I'm going to go Joel.
Because I don't, that like, if Luka, if Joel really plays crazy and they lose, man, that's tough.
See, I think they're going to. I think he's gonna. I think he can put up 35 a game or whatever.
I don't want the 76ers to beat the Celtics. I still like the Celtics. I just don't want that to happen to Joel Embiid. He's probably a top. He's one of my favorite players. Man, my ear is killing me. I feel like I should watch Ted Lasso. Have you ever watched that?
Everyone says it's good, but I haven't gotten to it yet.
I've never. I think I tried to watch it for like a couple minutes and just realized I'm not in the mood.
You need to catch up on Snowfall.
Yeah, so tomorrow. Number one priority tomorrow. So by Friday, I'll be caught up. I think I'm only one episode behind. Well, by tomorrow, it might be two, but I'll watch them both. So the tense moment in the Ravens pre-draft press conference when a question mentioned Lamar Jackson. As it appears, the media was sternly reminded not to mention the quarterback by the team. I gotta hear this.
Just with the Lamar stuff that's going on. Hey guys, are you all looking at quarterbacks? Alex.
Oh, that's trash. That is trash. What a bunch of sensitive little bitches. He asked the question. I don't know if you guys could hear that. He asked a guy in Baltimore was asked asking
We'll call it my light the beam hairstyle.
I like it.
Does it work?
It looks good.
Look at my purple. Am I rocking it?
Yeah, you're killing it.
Look at that. What?
Come on now.
You're killing it. Yeah, you look great.
Look at this. That's so fucking dialed in.
We're on, just so you like this is we're on. Yes, we are.
On the string. Look,
we're always on. Yeah. Now we're really on. Now we are really on, but now we're really on. You look great. The story I was telling you wasn't that important. Oh, I'll just tell the story on the air. This was before you and Mickey walked back in. The Ravens are really sensitive over it. Did you see that? Did you see that clip?
Well, I read what was said. I didn't see the clip. I read what was mentioned.
So there's a clip. I could probably pull it up if I work quick enough. But it's
GM?
Yeah, it was in Harbaugh. They were at a pre-draft press conference, and one of the reporters, I don't know if the guy was the PR person was mad because he said Lamar's name, but he was like, with where you guys are in the draft and the Lamar situation, are you looking at quarterbacks? And the PR guy cuts him. Hey, Alex, we told you. We're not answering any question. We're not talking about Lamar Jackson. We're talking about the draft. And you can hear the guy go, this is a draft question. Like I'm asking about the quarterback position.
Yeah.
And Harbaugh, they just sitting there looking with the stupid look on their face.
I think the GM told him the same thing too right before. So then when the spokesperson talked, I was like right after the GM told him, yeah, we're not taking questions on Lamar too.
He's not asking. I mean, he brings up Lamar's name. What is Lamar's name not allowed? Is that what we're doing?
That's what it sounds like. That's what they're trying to make it turn it out to be.
Let me see if I can find the clip.
Because I just saw something where, and did they eventually answer it? Because I
don't know the clip
that
cut
they
off.
said it's not out of the realm of possibility that they draft a quarterback in the first round or something like that.
Which I think is all the guy was asking. I think, and I may never know. I think he was trying to get to what level of priority the quarterback position was at the top of the draft.
That's such a mess. That is a
bad
mess in Baltimore. Wow.
This guy has a really difficult handle to spell. I'm about to abandon it because I'm literally looking at it and hey, there he is. Okay. We're progressing towards this. Now, having the Lamar Jackson still unsolved, I'm looking at no Lamar Jackson questions allowed. I'm looking to see if they eventually answered what my guy asked.
And so you saw the video. What was Harbaugh and them doing? Just standing.
They're just staring at him. They're just staring at him, letting their PR person handle it.
What a mess.
Here's that clip. This isn't going to have to pay off that I built it. But first of all, if you're watching, watch the look.
With respect to this thing about the draft and everything, just with the Lamar stuff that's going on.
Hey guys,
are you all looking at quarterbacks
out? This is about the draft.
Oh, I think they cut the mics. They definitely cut the mics. Good for them.
About the draft. Are you looking at quarterbacks differently because of the situations going on?
It's all Lamar's name because he asked the same question. Are you looking at quarterbacks differently because of the situation? Good God, man. You guys are ridiculous. You guys are ridiculous.
Baltimore.
Come on, man.
Jeez.
Do better.
Jeez.
Do better.
Do you think we get some resolution to that on draft night?
Nope.
Do you think, what do you think happened?
I don't know. I have no idea. This is bizarre.
I don't know if he starts the season.
Because he sits?
He ain't playing for Baltimore. And I don't know if he's getting traded for.
I think it's more likely that we don't see Lamar week 1. I don't think he'll be on another team, but I don't think he's playing week 1.
You think he's going but
he's just gonna be home.
Like Le'Veon?
Yeah, he's not playing for them. He's not playing another down for the Baltimore Ravens.
I'm not that far, but I don't think they'll have that resolution.
Seriously? We talked about this before. I'm gonna ask it again. Is there collusion?
I believe so. I still believe it's the owners, and I think the agents are involved too. I think that agent thing, that's the only thing that makes it, because there's been times when the owners in the past have said, hey, we're not signing this guy, we're not paying him, or so. There's been collusion type things in the past, but we've never seen what happened with Lamar Jackson. We're not interested. Nobody's interested, and the agents are making that known.
Can I tell you another thing? And this is why this is one part of the reason I feel like there's collusion with this, and just explains the nonsense involved in all of this. There's a report, it's almost certainly from Schefter, because he's been the Baltimore Ravens mouthpiece from jump, that the Ravens offered him a contract that made him, with the exception of Deshaun Watson, the richest quarterback in the NFL. I don't believe that for a second. I absolutely do not believe that for a second. Now, I absolutely believe there have been contract offers. Like, I don't believe they're just not talking to Lamar Jackson and they haven't tried to bring him back or anything like that. I don't believe they offered to make him the second highest paid quarterback. Basically, if the NFL stance is the Deshaun Watson contract is an anomaly, it's a one of one. We've made him the highest quarterback, the highest paid quarterback in the league. in that sense. If the Deshaun Watson quarterback contract is a 1-of-1, we've made him the highest paid quarterback in the league. Thus, I think making him the highest paid player in the league. And he said no. I don't believe that for a second.
It was probably one of those phony money deals where it's like, yeah, the contract says you'll make this much, but we can cut you and whatever.
Which 100% lines up with the type of stuff Schefter reports.
Because I remember the Steelers tried doing the same thing with Le'Veon too. They were going to make him the highest paid running back, but you could cut him after like year 2 and wouldn't have to pay him after that.
Schefter is bordering on a guy who bought his check mark. Like you can't, it's really difficult to believe what you read from him sometimes.
Yeah.
Because he's
always some type
he's
of
working
agenda.
for somebody.
Yeah. There's always an agenda. Always.
He used to be like the young guy. He used to be like Morty was the old guy. Chris Mortensen
he was like Shams.
Exactly. That's exactly who he was. And now he's not.
He's just Twom.
Now he's
we found out too, like wasn't he sending articles to like the GMs of the Washington team at one point or something like that? Like to check it?
He was getting approval. Yeah. And then there was the one time he accidentally tweeted something that he sent to someone for approval. Like he accidentally copy and pasted it, the whole thing, and tweeted it.
He did. We don't like this guy at all. But I did think it was kind of funny, the Aaron Rodgers thing. Total moves.
Nice try. Yeah.
Did you see that report? This is not even a report. It could have been just somebody talking. But they were saying if the 49ers are waiting in the weeds, laying in the weeds, if the
for Rodgers
falls through. I don't believe that.
I don't either.
But that got some traction yesterday.
I don't either. Though with the 49, I don't really know what to believe. I have no idea.
Dude, well, to be honest with you, just believe what's there in front of you. That's what happened on draft day.
It's true.
Shanahan was like, you gotta just run and say whatever you want.
Schefter and them dudes ain't got over it since. Oh, I can't wait for the report. The 49ers are looking to trade for Mac Jones.
If that report was true, though, would you take Purdy over him still? Or are you like, yeah, let's bring Rodgers in here?
Come on, man.
It's almost like draft day, though, right? When all the things are going. Like, I don't like Aaron Rodgers, but he still plays at a high level.
You can have them both. Brock Purdy cost you $7.50.
I'm saying like one is going to be your starter. Like,
oh no, Aaron Rodgers is your starter. If they can get Aaron Rodgers, I don't like him either.
Yeah.
But if they can get Aaron Rodgers, you get Aaron Rodgers, he's your starter, and
especially
you got to do something with Trey. You got to do something with one of them.
Yeah.
And it's probably Trey Lance.
Especially for where they're at, the 49ers. The 49ers are Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like, it's not we're building
right
something.
Yeah.
Like, you need to win as soon as possible. And it's the same thing we talked about on that draft day when he thought he might get traded. I don't like the guy, but yeah, Aaron Rodgers.
That was a fun 4 hours.
Man, it was.
That was a fun. It was like the regular show because that was one of the old school 8-hour shows. It was like the first 4 hours of the show were all about Aaron Rodgers, and then it was like, all right, this isn't happening. Let's focus on this draft pick. But I think
the story was he tried to make it happen. Rodgers tried to make it happen.
Yeah, wasn't this? Of course, I never know what to believe with this guy. Wasn't the story the night before he went to bed thinking he was going to be a San Francisco 49er the next day?
I think his whole.
I don't think anyone on the 49ers ever corroborated that story.
And then there was something that I never understood what this was all about. Like, people have explained it, but I don't get it. Jesse, maybe you know the story, but Shanahan got mad because the assistant, something with Green Bay, like they tried to say like Shanahan, somebody in the Green Bay coaching room alluded to Shanahan trying to get Aaron Rodgers, and Shanahan got mad. They were all on like a Zoom or something like that, and Shanahan got mad and stormed out and was pissed off. I don't know if it because it blew his cover or
wasn't that something involving Matt LaFleur?
Yeah.
And that's why. That. And that's I remember.
And that was the whole thing going into. They played in the regular season, the Sunday night game.
Yeah.
And it was like ice.
It was like beef. Yeah.
But it all stemmed from that draft day thing, and Shanahan was pissed off.
Speaking of beef, you might be asking yourself, what's beef? 25 years of Life After Death drops tomorrow on the latest episode of Corners of the Culture. Make sure you subscribe. Search Corners of the Culture in your podcast platform, and make sure you subscribe to that. One more quick note, because James is going to jump on here in just a heartbeat. We're going to talk Kings basketball. That was the Trey Lance draft.
Yep.
my favorite moment, one of my favorite moments in show history. I don't think we've ever talked about this on the air, but it's one of my favorite moments in show history because we had all of that stuff about Mac Jones and Trey Lance leading into that night. And we had the Aaron Rodgers distraction, and we had Trey Wingo on, who was a huge part of that story. And the 49ers drafted second, third, got on the clock, and on our stream, it was somewhere in the vicinity of like 300 people tuned into the live stream when the San Francisco 49ers were making that selection. And we believe
like 120 to like 350, like just for that moment.
And it was all to see if Kenny would have a meltdown if Mac Jones was drafted. That's one of my absolute favorite moments in show history.
And to be completely honest, I don't think we didn't really know. Like we thought we knew.
Yeah.
But I know
we were confident.
Myself. I was like, there's still a chance he could draft Mac, and I'll lose it.
And Mac, that's what everyone was hoping
out
for.
Of the league.
People were tuning in to hope. They were hoping for a train wreck. They just got some excitement there from Kenny Caraway. As we welcome in our 1320 Kings insider, the creator of the Kings Beat, our guy, James Ham, who not only covers a playoff team now, but covers a Pacific Division champion playoff team.
Stunning. Like, I don't even know what to do with myself. Yeah, this has been...
Your excitement is overwhelming. It's oozing through the screen.
This has been a fun season, man. I don't know. You know, I saw the picture last night that Gary Gerald tweeted out of himself wearing the Pacific Division t-shirt. And, man, just what a ride for someone like him who's been here for so long and then got stuck in this just twisted web of losing and like instability and chaos for so long, and then to come out the other side. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun to cover this season, and they just keep winning, and that's good. I'm excited.
How impressed were you with that game last night? You know, especially coming off the heels of Sunday and that catastrophe of a loss against San Antonio. The way they responded last night in New Orleans again. Mike Brown said it might have been the best win of the season. I think he might be right. Most complete win or something, whatever the
most complete game.
Mm-hmm. I thought they played really well. They played tough. That was almost a playoff preview type performance from the Sacramento Kings last night.
Actually, you know what? When I was watching and we got done and Mike said that, I was sitting there and I thought to myself, if that's the team that shows up in the playoffs, then all bets are off. If they can be that team, then whoever they face in the first round, it doesn't matter. They've been a better team than almost every single Western Conference team all season long. I mean, outside of Denver, who's been up there the whole time, and the Grizzlies, who have been really strong, and even through a lot of their chaos, like there hasn't been a more consistent team than the Kings. And you just keep thinking that they don't have the experience, and they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they don't know. And that game right there showed me, okay, they do have a different level that they can get to on the defensive end, on the offensive end. Every bit of that game, that right there was a team that had won 8 out of 9 and was rolling and had an opportunity to jump up and be a first round opponent of the Kings, and they just like thumped them. And so for me, that was a big moment, because this last like week and a half, 2 weeks, it's been some pretty shoddy basketball. Like there's been plenty of times where you thought that they just weren't fully engaged, that they didn't quite understand that the season wasn't over yet. And that game right there like changed my mind about who they can be going forward.
What do you think? You're listening to D-Lo and KC on KIFM West Sacramento, 98.5 FM, KRX, QHD2 Sacramento, ESPN 1320, always live on the free Odyssey app. What do you think sparked that? Do you think it was Mike Brown's press conference? Do you think it was the fact that they just knew they played like hell against San Antonio and they needed to do better as the postseason approached?
Yeah, I mean that, and I think that they started to hear the murmurs. You know, they understand that they have not played well, and that, you know, Mike Brown, like to his credit, I like what he's doing right now. Like we always talk about, again, the experience, right? And it's usually year 2 or year 3 of a team making the playoffs where they stop worrying about the regular season so much and they start really focusing on, making sure everyone's healthy, making sure the last 20 games you're in a rhythm and you know what you're doing. Well, that's not who this team is. And so I think that this was kind of a reminder that, like, look, you guys haven't done anything. Like, if you're going to walk into a playoff series, it doesn't matter who you're facing. If you play like you did against San Antonio or Utah, or name that sort of step back they've taken over the last couple of weeks, you're going to lose. It doesn't matter. Like, if you guys don't play defense, any team can beat you. They got beat by Julian Chapani or whatever his name is. I mean,
we haven't decided.
Yeah, we haven't decided yet, right? They got beat by that guy. And, like, what are you doing? And so I think that that's one of those moments. Even didn't Jones have a triple-double against them in the San Antonio game? Like, that should be embarrassing for a team that has, like, not just playoff aspirations, but more. And so I think the Kings, sort of unwittingly have given Mike Brown all of the material he needs to yell and scream and push them even further. And that's a good thing. Again, the Knicks thing, you beat the Knicks, good. You gave up 23 offensive rebounds. We're not going to win basketball games playing that way. And so they keep giving Mike Brown sort of more bulletin board material that he can use against his own team. And I think it's good. Like, motivational tactics at this point of the season, they're not easy because it is such a long season. And so I like to see what Brown has done here and how he keeps capturing the imagination of this team, reining them back in, refocusing them. And it's something that, we don't know how many games more he gets to do that this season, but I'm not going to put a number on it right now.
The interesting thing that has gone on, and Damian, you brought it up earlier, was Mike Brown said what he said after Sunday's game. And he talked about, his disappointment and his frustration with everything that was going on. But you can make the argument that didn't even need to happen because De'Aaron Fox was already up there saying unacceptable. Kevin Huerter looked irritated what was going on. There is a level of, and I know Coach Brown asked for it more and consistently, but I think especially compared to years past, there's a level of self-accountability with these guys that maybe we're just not used to seeing. Like, you could make the argument they didn't have to be told about how embarrassing Sunday was, and they need to come out ready to go. They were going to be ready to go regardless because there is that self-accountability with this group in the locker room.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm going to point to this too. I think over the last, like, Fox is one of the guys who hasn't played that well. Like, he just hasn't. And I tweeted it out last night. He had missed 14 consecutive three-point shots. And so it dated all the way back to the third quarter of not the San Antonio game, but the game before that. And so he went 0 for 8 against San Antonio, and then he was 0 for 4 to start the game. Like, there has to be a moment where even he has a reckoning, and, like, someone needs to say, hey, look, man, like, whatever happened to the paint touches, whatever happened to the spray three, like, whatever you're doing right now, it's not good for us as a team, and you need to stop doing it. And I don't know who said that, or if someone did say that, or if he just came to the self-realization, but let's not let Fox has a good post game and let him off the hook for the fact that part of the problem is that he hasn't been as good over the last, 2-3 weeks. Like we talked about it last week where I mentioned to you guys that for some reason Fox is letting Monk take over in the fourth quarter and not himself. Like, what's made this team great is that Fox is great in the fourth quarter. That's taken this team from being really good to winning a whole bunch of basketball games by 2 and 3 and 4 points because he's been incredible. So, like, for this thing to work, these guys have to own up to who they are. Each individual player needs to own up to who they are and what they mean in the greater grand scheme of the team concept that is this season's Sacramento Kings. And part of that is Fox. Like, he's got to be good every night. And there can't be other nights where, again, it's not just that he goes 0 of 8 from 3, which why he kept shooting threes, I can't tell you. Like, I get why Kevin Huerter went 2 of 12 and kept shooting threes, because that guy shoots 41% on the season. But with Fox, it's something different. When he touches the paint, it changes everything for the Kings, and he knows that. And then on top of that, the guy he goes against drops a 20-point, 10 rebound, 10 assist, triple-double. Like, look, you got to play it out. No one is handing the Kings anything. And that's why it took them an extra 5 days to win the Pacific.
Hammer, what I think it really was is the genius of Mike Brown hiding Alex Len for 70-plus games this season
checkers.
Before unleashing him on the NBA world and giving him an opportunity to get his NBA legs, while also instilling fear in other teams in both conferences now. When do you think Mike decided, hey, I'm just going to tuck Alex Len away in my back pocket and unleash hell on the world towards the end of the season? Think it was the moment he was hired, or maybe a little after?
Look, I know, some people get so frustrated when I talk about the first year of Monty McNair, right? We get to that offseason, and he decides not to match Bogdanovich, but also not to bring Alex Len and not to bring Bazemore back, right? So, and everyone's like, man, if you think Alex Len would have made some sort of difference. And the fact was that Alex Len was so good after they got him from Atlanta in that last little spurt that he was a difference maker for the team. Remember, they went into LA and they beat the Clippers, and Len and Montrezl Harrell got into it, and he just wouldn't back down. There are these moments where Alex Len has shown you things throughout his career where you're like, okay, I'm okay with what he does. Even I tweeted out a video of practice the other day, and someone responded, why is Alex Len shooting so many threes? Why isn't he working on his footwork? Because you guys, that fan didn't realize that Alex Len shot 37% from three a couple of years ago when he was with Atlanta. The dude can shoot. He can provide you with shot blocking and rebounding, and not just shot blocking, but rim protection. I think that's the thing that we've seen. He's doing a great job of blocking shots. Even the weird CJ McCollum thing where he tried to flip the ball up and under, and Alex Len swatted him yesterday. But think back to
just grabs his jersey.
Yeah. He was clearly upset. Yeah. But look at how many shots that since Alex has been back in the rotation that he's altered shots. And that's huge. This team has not had that at all. And, Chimezie Metu can jump out of the gym, but he's not 7'1" with a huge wingspan like Alex. And, I think you asked the question was very specific, was when did Mike decide? And, it was the moment that Chimezie Metu decided to not follow the basic rules of what Chimezie Metu is supposed to do. And once he opened that door, Alex has stepped in and just been really good. And so good for Alex for being ready. He's also a player who, literally throughout his career, cannot stay healthy at all. And you get this deep in the season, he's got no mileage on him at all. And sure enough, he's playing like a player who's fresh and ready and has a role and understands it. He sets big screens. And again, we haven't even seen him pull up and shoot a three yet. He can do that. There's all kinds of things that Alex Len can do. And I think, again, bringing in Hassan Whiteside over Alex Len, it doesn't matter what the stats said. That was a horrible decision. And that's one of those things where you look at it and you don't understand that a player who fits a role is better than a guy who puts up stats. And Alex Len is just that guy. He can fit a role.
Especially when that guy who puts up stats doesn't really put up stats. He just every once in a while throws the ball off of somebody's face. Or Hassan Whiteside was an adventure.
He was, but the season before he averaged 14 and 15 points, 12 rebounds, and 2.5 blocks.
Here?
So no.
Everybody knew he wasn't going to do that here.
Oh yeah, no. Here he ran in the middle of the key, put his gigantic wingspan out, which is I think he has one of the biggest wingspans ever, 7'8" wingspan. He goes stand in the middle of the key and put his arms out give me the ball. And De'Aaron Fox is like, man, where am I supposed to run? You're supposed to be setting the screen, big man. So yeah,
it was at that moment De'Aaron knew he was going to have a sore ankle. He was like,
ow, my ankle. Ow.
That wasn't even That wasn't even that season. I think it was the
No,
next season.
but he knew. He knew.
He knew it was
He knew. He knew.
Premonition, like.
It's. I'm gonna have to have a sore ankle to get some changes done around here.
That's right.
Do you think this Alex Len thing is something that they found and they're going to continue to rely upon as the backup five moving forward, or is it just is it going to be matchup based when you get into the playoffs?
Yeah, I think it's going to be matchup based. And I'll point this out too. Like Trey Lyles was having a phenomenal season, and then he missed 2 games with a sore shoulder. And I don't think Trey Lyles has been right for a couple of weeks, like 100%. And so I would say that like Alex Len is going to play when you have a problem with guys getting downhill on you and scoring at the rim time and time again. We might see, or you're getting out rebounded by a ton. But I think in the playoffs, if you see an 8-man rotation with a possibility for like partial 9-man, that's going to be Lyles and Davion and Malik Monk off the bench. And then Kessler Edwards is the guy who gives you something different. And so I think it's going to be difficult to find space for all of these guys on the court in the playoffs. But we'll have to see. I mean, I asked Mike Brown that specific question, like, look, are you doing this because you might have a very interesting matchup like in the playoffs and you might need Alex? And he was like, no, not really. Like Alex just deserved a shot. He's put in the work. He's out here, before everyone else and really like he stayed a good teammate through the whole season and we hadn't given him a shot. So now we're giving him a shot. And so I thought it was interesting to kind of see that perspective. But again, I think it's going to come down to maybe a little matchup, maybe a little bit of whether Trey Lyles kind of comes around out of his slump right now.
What did you think of Kessler yesterday? We talked a lot about Alex Len. I don't think we really talked about Kessler Edwards. What did you think of his performance yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, like I thought he was really good. They figured out a way to slow down Brandon Ingram. Yeah. And you're going to need that. Like it doesn't, whoever you're playing in the first round, whether it's the Warriors who you'll need someone to defend Wiggins or a tall guy to go out on Steph, chase Steph around or Clay, or if you're talking about Paul George and Kawhi Leonard with the Clippers, or just name that team that could jump up and be in position with you. Anthony Edwards, if it's Minnesota, like he has a skill that this team needs desperately. And it's something that they need to address fully this offseason, whether that's Kessler just getting a whole bunch of minutes and developing into something that, he's trying to develop into right now, or it's, going out and finding like a better version to add to the team. That's still something you need. And I think he's been really, really strong over the last couple of weeks, just coming in and giving you everything you need on the defensive end and not being just a huge problem on the offensive end. He's active, he's shooting, he doesn't mind attacking the rim. He's been really good as a rebounder quietly. Yeah. And so those are things that like you're looking at him and like they've optimized him for sure, like as of right now. And I think he'll get plenty of burn in the playoffs.
The Kings seem to miss Malik Monk that much from their game because, I mean, his presence, I should say, seemed to change the energy in that game yesterday. And it was something they were kind of missing, it seemed like, on Sunday, that certain level of energy. Is he that valuable to what they try to do as a group?
I think he's valuable, but I would just continue to make the point that like it's good that he has like that type of value, but the games that he's bad, he can't be that bad. And games that he's good, like that's amazing and it's fun and it helps you win. There has to be sort of a midline for Malik Monk, and I don't know if we're ever going to find it because that's not really who he is. He's either really high or really low. And he reminds me a lot of Bobby Jackson. Like if you were watching the Kings during their heyday, how many times did you like, oh, no. And then, yes, it went in. Like how many times with Bobby Jackson? And it was a lot. Like Bobby hit a huge amount of like crazy shots, but how many of those shots should he have taken was always the question. And that's where Malik and him are very similar. And, Malik's a great playmaker, except for the games where he's turning the ball over. So, yeah, I mean, I don't want to say it's live by the Malik or die by the Malik. But, yeah, this team doesn't really need that. So they don't need that player who is so impactful one way or the other.
Yeah, I don't want to give that moniker.
No, that's
I know who had
that's a
that.
one of one.
Yeah, I know who had that moniker before, and that is not Malik Monk.
Yeah,
I do not want to give that to Malik Monk at all. One that we mentioned it in passing, and probably deserves some more attention. We were talking about players who you hope have, high level games in the playoffs. And James, it's bordering impossible to not get excited when Davion Mitchell has defensive plays like he had last night, where he just punked someone in the backcourt and caused an 8-second violation.
That was spectacular.
Don't see that very often.
No. And, it's against a rookie that I like a lot. But it's one of those situations where he has an ability to impact the game so much on the defensive end. And even if it's in a short burst, we're seeing him only play like 12 to 15 minutes a game on a lot of nights. And I think a lot of the time it does depend on whether he's hitting he's hitting his shots. And, one player can't completely change your entire defensive scheme. But I think him and Kessler Edwards together have been like a really, really nice tandem. And then if you add in Alex Len, that adds another element. And then you add in Malik Monk and his ability to score. And so I think if you're looking at that second unit, you're starting to see some really nice pieces that are finding ways to work together. And that may be right there why Malik Monk seems like he means so much. Because if you put him out there with an Alex Len or Chimezie Metu, but also a Davion Mitchell and a Kessler Edwards, like, where are you going to get your scoring? Like, if Malik Monk isn't scoring, like, no one is going to score on that second unit naturally. And so, I like what's happening, though. I like sort of the organic growth of that second unit and how each of them are kind of filling a specific role. And Davion's a guy who, again, he hasn't been he hasn't put up the numbers that he put up last year, but in the minutes that he's played, he's been really solid. He's disappeared from that, what we worried about early in the season, where he was someone that, like, you noticed the problems on the court. You don't really notice that he's standing out anymore as someone who's doing something that everyone else isn't doing. And that's a good thing. He's figured out how to fit into the flow of the offense, which was a problem early on. He still has some issues here and there on the defensive end, where if he's not on ball, he does lose his man and stuff. But overall, I think his growth in year 2 has been pretty solid.
Davion gonna have some moments in the playoffs. He's gonna have some moments just like what we saw yesterday in the playoffs. And I pray that they happen at the Golden One Center, because they're gonna explode if he even comes close to getting the 8-second call, let alone if it actually happens. If it actually happens, yeah, we lose our mind. Absolutely.
That's one of those things where the crowd will build.
Yeah.
Like, this is 6, 7, the crowd will get louder and louder and louder as we get close to the 8 seconds.
Yeah, I think too, I mean, Davion is going to be very specific, like, to what team you're playing. So, like, if you're playing the Warriors, he's not a good matchup with Steph Curry, and because Steph is so good off ball. And he's, clearly he's not a good matchup against Klay Thompson because of Klay's size. But I do think he's a really good matchup against Jordan Poole. And so you have these different elements of different teams where you're like, okay, I can see how Davion could really be impactful. Again, you play Minnesota. I think he's a really good matchup against Mike Conley. And just go down the list. Even if you look at the Clippers, he's a good matchup against Russell Westbrook. Like, he forces Russell Westbrook into a whole bunch of rush shots. And, that's a good thing.
Domantas Sabonis had his 13th triple-double of the season last night, and we've really just kind of glossed over it. He got like a segment 3 mention. Like, we've just come to we've dubbed Hammer, we've dubbed Domas the new Harrison Barnes, where Harrison at times is just really, really consistently good. And he's gotten so, like, Domas has gotten so good where we just don't notice it. Yeah, he had a triple-double. Man, you see what Alex Len did last night? Davion Mitchell, that 8-second violation. Meanwhile, Domantas Sabonis. And I
don't let Domas get a double-double. You may never mention him.
Oh, man.
He has 64 double-doubles. 64.
That's
like
crazy.
I think he's missed 2 games. So with 3 games left, 79, 77. So he gets 64 double-doubles in 77 games. Like, that's crazy. Like, how good he is. Like, again, I've brought up that I compare him not for what he does on the court, but the way that, like, he does things that you appreciate every night to DeMarcus, right? And I don't think the Kings have never had a lunch pail guy like this outside of Mitch Richmond, where every single game Mitch scored 20. And so for Domas, every single game it's a double-double without fail. And it's just really, really incredible to watch because you do take it for granted. Like, I don't even look. I just assume every single game he'll have double-digit rebounds. And he's averaging like 12.4 or 12.6 on the season. He leads the NBA. But it's not just that he's averaging that. It's that's what he gets every single game. And so I think just what he's able to do is really impressive. Like his ability to pass, his ability to change everything, but also make this point early in the season, even all the way up to the trade deadline. I was like very concerned that the second he steps off the court, you can't function offensively. And I think the team has found a way to like play through when he's not there. And so that's a good thing. They're learning and they're getting better, and this offense is incredible. But that was always my issue, that they were going to have problems when he steps off the court. And the fact that he leads the league in personal fouls means that he's going to step off the court quite a bit. And he just needs to make sure that he's doing everything in his power not to get in foul trouble, especially in the playoffs, once playoffs start against, again, whoever that is. But if it's Draymond Green poking him in the ribs and trying to get him to respond and he gets stupid fouls, then that's a bummer. You know, you need him on the court.
19.2, 12.4, and 7.2.
Amazing.
Ooh.
Yeah.
We'll come back. James Ham here with us. We've got Kings basketball tonight.
Yeah, man.
We've got to talk about that. It's the Sacramento Kings and the Dallas Mavericks. Of course, we're going to watch it together at the Fieldhouse American Sports Pub. We hope you'll come out to hang out and watch with us. We're going to talk to James about that game when we return here on Sacramento Sports Leader ESPN 1320. Clear.
Oh. Hang on, I'm going to highlight Patrick. Like the update on whether Sasha will join the team next year is that Monty McNair went over there he went over there during the tournament. So when Princeton was at Golden One Center, he left and missed the Sunday game and flew to Greece. And he took someone with him. I can't remember who. Oh, Phil Jabor. So they went over and hung out with Sasha. The Kings are going to make a really hard play for Sasha in the offseason. So, and he's also like, it's kind of an interesting thing I'll tell you about like free agents. Like when you go into free agency and you're trying to monitor like how much you're going to spend on your players and all that stuff, he's a player that is basically like, he's a free agent of sorts, but you're the only team that can negotiate with him. So even if you get a deal done with him, it's a good thing that you can wait to announce that and do all of your other things that you're working on and then bring him on board afterwards. So whether it's like the biannual exception or whatever, what I'm saying is you'll be able to use your cap space first. And so I don't know what he's going to get. I'm not sure that the Kings should do something crazy like, you know, the $9 million a year contract they gave Bogdan Bogdanovic. But I wouldn't doubt that he gets pretty solid cash for like the biannual. I think is a little over 4, something like that. And that's what he wanted this last year, and the Kings wouldn't give it to him. And that's why he stayed over there, or part of the reason.
This is pretty interesting. I seen from on Twitter. This is probably a testament to the Kings winning this division and what it means. The Pacific Division currently represents seeds 3 through 7.
Yeah.
Look at it. It's Sac, Suns, Warriors, Clippers, Lakers.
And did I hear that?
The whole division is right there.
Something like 7 of the last 8 Pacific Division winners have represented the West in the finals.
That makes sense. It's just the Warriors and the Suns, right? Oh, the Lakers. Yeah, the
Warriors, Suns, Lakers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clippers haven't been there.
Nope.
Yeah, that checks out. Warriors, Suns, and Lakers.
Yeah. I've been writing all day on Harrison Barnes. Finally getting to my Harrison Barnes piece.
I'll save it for the show. I want to ask you something about it.
HB. So HB's not shaving, huh?
He hasn't said that. The one year he did.
He doesn't have to say it. I can see it. It's like, whoa.
He trimmed it one year. I mean, like he trimmed it like a week or two ago, but but he isn't shaving. Yeah, the 1 year where he let it grow.
Yeah.
And then we got to, and then the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
And he couldn't shave it. Got to the bubble. Ugh.
That was tough.
Yeah.
That was tough.
And leading up to the bubble, like he was one of the many players like the Kings had. What was it? Jabari Parker, Buddy Hield, Alex Len, and Harrison Barnes all got COVID right before the bubble. Mm-hmm. And then Harrison's wife and mom got it. And I think one of them was not good. It was like, and it was early stages, like back in the beginning of COVID, where it was like very stressful.
Live on the Odyssey app, live on twitch.tv/ESPN1320 and youtube.com/ESPN1320 as we're gearing up to head out to the Fieldhouse American Sports Bar. We hope you'll come watch the game with us tonight. We're going to have a blast, hoping to put the dirt, or at least some dirt, not all of the dirt. Can't put all of it because Oklahoma City couldn't beat the Golden State Warriors. They tried. They did what they could. But Jesse just sent me this tweet. We've talked, Hammer, probably a stupid amount of time about the Dallas Mavericks tonight, even though that is the Sacramento Kings opponent. I should say today we've talked about them. Jesse just forwarded me this tweet from Tim McMahon. I guess Mark Cuban is talking somewhere. I don't know. But Tim McMahon tweets, Mark Cuban is blaming Rick Brunson for the Mavs losing Jalen Brunson in free agency, saying, quote, things went south when the parents got involved. Maybe the reason the Mavericks suck is because Mark Cuban just can't take responsibility for his team failing to get something done.
Mark Cuban, it seems like, he is an unbelievable businessman, has made a lot of money, but that doesn't mean he knows exactly how to run an NBA franchise.
Yeah, I mean, he does have a ring, and that's what he's always going to rely on. But like, look, I told you guys this. I really think that the dynamic there with Luka is like it's gone sideways. And you can go back to last offseason. I think Jalen Brunson really, really liked playing in the games where Luka didn't play. And when Luka was there, it wasn't nearly as fun. And that's something that like has become a bigger and bigger issue like throughout his career, that finding people that want to play that style of basketball and play alongside him is not easy. And it's not easy to find fit players, to go with him. And Brunson last year, like he tore the Kings up a couple of times. And Davion Mitchell has been very clear. Like Jalen Brunson's the most difficult guy to defend for him in the league. He thinks he's so strong, low center of gravity. Like he's able to get wherever he wants on the court. Like that's a really, really good player that they lost for nothing. And that's tough. So, yeah, I don't know why you're bringing it up now. Like,
yeah,
if you don't make the playoffs.
And he sees this is all going bad, and he needs someone to believe. And I think someone asked Luka, how much do you think the Mavericks are missing Jalen Brunson? And he just replied, a lot.
Yeah. Well, no, I agree with him. So, yeah, I mean, that's a player that, again, he could score at will, and he did it off the bench. And, again, he carried the load when Luka wasn't there. And without, what are you going to do? You lost him. You got to move on.
Complain about it. You don't move on. You just complain about it, and that appears to be their approach.
Or you use it as an excuse as to why you're not going to make the playoffs, and it's like, okay, I mean, Jalen Brunson's a good player, but you should have been able to do something. You went out and got Christian Wood, which tells me that you didn't really do a whole lot of homework.
And the other thing about it, I think I saw this stat. Hey, they did what they had to do. Maybe they didn't think they had enough, but I think they were like 5th in the Western Conference when they traded. They made the Kyrie trade.
I actually think it was 4th, but yeah, it's 4th or 5th, whatever it was.
And
yep.
Once again, for me personally, it's not a Kyrie thing. It's what you gave up
to
get Kyrie.
100%.
Like Spencer Dinwiddie, Finney Smith were like big pieces of what you were trying to do, and you moved on that for another score.
Yeah, I don't like the Kyrie fit there at all. And, and again, I've told you guys, I just think that he's blowing that team up, and it's not because he's doing something silly behind the scenes. It's just because everyone likes playing with him, and they're realizing that it's not fun to play with Luka.
So the best way for them to get better, Ham, I want you to co-sign the D'Lo and KC plan. Re-sign Kyrie and trade Luka Doncic.
Hey, again, I've told you, I think there are probably 4 or 5 teams out there this offseason that are looking at star-level players that are on their team that have been the face of their franchise for a couple of years who really should look at a hard reset. And, the same thing with Trae Young, the same thing with Karl Anthony Towns. Look at what's happened in Minnesota since Cat got back. Like,
well, yeah, Carl, that's the thing. That's different. Karl Anthony Towns isn't the star of that team anymore.
Right.
Well, he doesn't want to relinquish it.
Yeah, well, he doesn't have a choice. He's Dyson Daniels and Anthony Edwards is Davion Mitchell. He just took it from him. Like, hey, kid, you don't have a choice. This is my team now.
As Tupac said in Above the Rim, you don't have a choice.
That is James knows that reference.
I have seen Above the Rim. It's been a long time now.
All right. Kenny watches it every week.
Every week. That and Poetic Justice.
Oh, you know it. Those are my movies right there.
There you go. See?
A little lucky.
But, I mean,
maybe that's a way the Mavericks. Go get Karl Anthony Towns.
But with what money?
Yeah.
You'd have to trade for Cat.
Yeah,
what you got?
You don't. Luka.
Well, that your first-round picks are all messed up. And if you're Minnesota, would you consider trading for Luka when you know that Anthony Edwards is the answer?
Yeah, probably not.
No.
Probably not.
And that's the other thing. Everyone knows how supremely talented Luka is. I don't know where he fits and who he fits with. I have no clue.
I think there are a lot of teams that say they want him, and then they're going to be like, do we really? When it really gets down to it.
Luka has some soul searching to do. He's got to figure out. And again, the man's 24 years old. I believe he can. But can Dallas wait around long enough to figure it out? Can he wait around Dallas long enough for them to figure it out? Because it feels like both of those entities are in a bad spot. Not the Mavericks beat. It's the Kings beat that James Ham created. And, of course, the Sacramento Kings will take on the Dallas Mavericks tonight. Ham, I hate to say this, but with the way that Dallas is playing, does this game have San Antonio feels to it? Is it because they are not playing the way New Orleans was headed into that? This is a team, that is physically and mentally destroyed. That it feels like if the Sacramento Kings can get 12 or 14 on them out the gate, they'll fold and this thing will end before halftime.
Yeah, that's possible. I think the most interesting thing to watch will be how does Mike Brown deal with like the chase for 50, which I don't know if is still a thing, but you got 3 games and you got to win 2. But then on top of that, like he's not backing down. He's trying to get better with his team right now, and he's not letting off the gas, and he's playing his players big minutes, even though, like, again, tonight's game has no real value to the Kings at all. Like, the only thing it could possibly do is you could look at it this way. They could, like, not win and allow Dallas to have a better shot at making the back end of the play-in, and maybe Dallas does something stupid like beats the Lakers or beats Minnesota or beats someone that you really don't want to face because you know you can beat Dallas. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you walk into this one and
that's such a long shot, though. Yeah. Like the Mavericks getting in is like a 3-0, 0-3 type thing.
Is it that bad? I didn't think it was that bad.
I think so.
Yeah, they have to win out. I think
because OKC has
and
and
I think the Timberwolves are involved in that too.
No, they're a half game out of 10th. The Mavs are. They're a half game behind OKC. So they're 38-42 versus 37-42
yesterday. But they need to finish in front because they got no tiebreakers.
They don't have any tiebreakers?
No tiebreakers. So they got to finish in front of all these people.
Okay, so OKC still has 4 games remaining. Oh no, they only have 2.
I'm about to say, yeah.
I was like, wait, man.
They gave them a Kings schedule.
No, but Dallas has 3. So like
tonight, Friday and Sunday, I think.
Yeah, so if Dallas wins tonight, if Dallas wins out, and OKC doesn't win another game, Dallas would be in for sure. But we're only talking about 2 and 3 games. Even if I think OKC can win, they can win 1 game. And Dallas wins. If Dallas wins all 3, OKC can still win 1 and get in, and Dallas would be in. Yeah. So I don't know. I think they're still in there.
They are mathematically, but I mean, you can go a long way to knocking them out tonight if you're the Kings.
Yeah. Oh no. If you beat them tonight, they're done. Yeah. I don't think they really have. I mean, they would have to go 2-0 and then hope that OKC loses both their games, and even that I don't think gets them in. Yeah,
it's an interesting thing you brought up just a minute ago. The Pelicans were definitely playing for something. The fact that the Mavericks like are unsure about what their approach is, like it's not impossible. It's not impossible those two are ruled out tonight, which clarifies the direction that they're going. But the fact that they seemed as recently as yesterday to be unsure about the direction that they're going, that already tells me the story. Y'all are done. You're checked out. So for the Kings, that's got to be, for Mike Brown, that's got to be a tough dynamic when you're going against a team like the Pelicans, who, Kenny, you called that like a playoff type game. Yeah, it can be. That meant a lot to the Pelicans. They couldn't get it. This game might not mean anything for Dallas.
Yeah.
No,
Dallas,
I totally agree.
I think you prefer you beat the crap out of them.
Yeah, put us out of our misery.
That may be yeah.
Make the decision.
Be the Dr.
us.
Kevorkian here and put an end to this.
Oof. Yikes. Yeah.
Put an end to Dallas.
Dr. K. Yeah, like I think either way the Kings could still beat them handily. I think they have a 2-1 advantage over Dallas on the season. And they've outplayed them. And you know, I like someone brings up Jason Kidd in the chat, like that's a mess.
Yeah.
Like his comments all season long have been a mess. The fact that Luka Doncic helped chase Rick Carlisle out of town is a mess, who's one of the best X's and O's coaches in the league. Like the whole thing is a mess. So it could be added to the list of teams that are sliding while the Kings are ascending, and that's good. That's a good thing for the Kings.
Jason Kidd ran a out of bounds play that consisted of nobody taking the ball out.
Did he spill water on the court?
No, not this time.
The play against the Warriors, it's our ball. There was nobody there to take the ball out.
Yeah.
Turn one of the league's great point guards into a dummy.
You know who's not a dummy, though? De'Aaron Fox. I saw this stat from the Sacramento Kings. In his last 3 games against the Mavericks, he's averaging 37.7 on 57% from the field, 5.3 assists. They got no answer for De'Aaron Fox.
Well, they're not the best defensive team out there, so that checks out.
No answer. Oh, I did want to ask Ham this though, because we talked about it a little bit during the break. Harrison Barnes.
Mm-hmm.
And you've been writing about Harrison, got some things coming up. How do you think he's played of late? It's been really up and down for me. Like, I didn't like his game at all on Sunday. I'm not going to say he's the reason why they lost, but I didn't think he helped. Yesterday, I thought he played really well. It was a bounce back game, but that seems to be like what's been going on a lot with Harrison last month or so. Like, good game, 2 subpar games, then 3 good games, then 2 what do you think about Harrison's play as of late?
Yeah, I mean, I think scoring-wise, he's been extremely consistent over the last 20-plus games. He's had one game where he was in single digits. My concern, even like last night's game, like he finished with 16 points, which is fine. And, that's kind of what you need him to do. But you look at the rebounds, he had 0 rebounds, and he had 1 assist. And I can tell you that 1 assist came in like the final like minute he was on the court. And so those are issues that like if he's not going to have any numbers at all to point to, that I would kind of circle and say, hey man, like we need more. He did have 3 steals. His steal numbers have gone up the last 3 games. But overall, like, is it possible that Harrison Barnes playing, 32 to 33 minutes a night for 79 consecutive games is a little bit beat up and worn out? Sure, but the Kings are going to get like nearly a week off before the playoffs. So Harrison Barnes should come out and he'll be just perfectly fine. He's the unsung hero of this Kings team. You've got Monk, who gets a lot of fanfare for being like the Energizer Bunny. You got Fox and Sabonis, who, have got all kinds of fanfare. You got Keegan Murray, who everyone talks about, like the 3-point record and where he's at in the rookie chase and all that. And the fact that you have a guy who goes out there and plays 32, 33 minutes every single night, holds down his position, gives you great shooting, knows when to go get to the free throw line when you're struggling with your shot, all those things. And then what he is to this team off the court is like spectacular. I mean, I asked Sabonis about him, and he said he's the most professional player I've ever been around in my entire career. Like, he's the guy. So, like, all of these guys, they have such a high opinion of him and what he's been through here in Sacramento, just like Fox has been through. But I think it's a little different because Fox didn't know any better. He came into a dysfunctional situation. He came into a losing franchise and the fight to turn things around. But that's not where Harrison Barnes had kind of been in his career. By his 3rd season, he'd won a championship. His 4th season, he goes to the finals and loses in the finals and then finds himself in Dallas. Like, just the way that his career took some weird paths to get where it is right now. I'm super happy for him to kind of, if he does choose to leave this summer, he'll get to do it with the understanding that he was able to fulfill the promise of getting the team back to the playoffs. And so if he does decide that he wants to move, then that's one thing. But he also, like, when I talked to him, he talked a lot about stability and how, he just quickly rattled off. He said, I get traded here and it's Dave and Vlade, and then it's Luke and Vlade, and then it's Luke and Monty, and then it's Monty and Alvin, and then now it's Alvin. I mean, it's Monty and Mike, and he just rattled it off so quickly. He's like, just like the overall instability. He's like, we've always had talent here. Every year I've been here, I thought we had enough talent to make the playoffs to get it done. He's like, but just all of these, every time we went to take a step forward, we took 2 steps back. And every time we got to an off season, halfway through the season, he's like, there were massive changes every halfway point of the season. So you start at the beginning of the season, you got a new coach or a new GM, you get to the midway point, you make a big trade. He's like, every single time there was no way to like get any sort of structure because we never had like a straight line moving forward. It was always these jagged lines and stepping back. And so like, he's appreciative of where they're at now and surprised that stability came in 1 year. Like, I think that's another thing for him, is just like if you can call it stability, is what he said. Like, how do we find stability in 1 year? Well, we couldn't find it all those other years. Clearly we did. And so I think for him, this is like a really, really cool moment where he'll assess what he wants to do going forward. And he should probably realize that he's part of what stability is this season, and that by taking away him, he would damage the stability. And so maybe this isn't a team that like makes a ton of playoff appearances in a row. Maybe it is. You never know. But he certainly is a big part of what makes this place, a stable squad.
Do you think if he resigns here, the trade, because his name is brought up every year because of what he can add to virtually every contending team or near contending team in the playoffs, if he resigns, which clearly shows his desire to be here, do you think those conversations in February die for a couple of years?
Yeah, probably, because
until he gets close to his contract expiring and then they bring it up again.
Well, no, because I mean, I'll point the Kings are the 3rd seed in the Western Conference. Like, you talk about all the teams that want him are the really good playoff teams. Well, if the Kings are in the same position next year, then they're a really good playoff team. And so why would you be trading him? It would be more like a team going and finding, like, if you were going to move him, it would be to get just way younger at the position, or if things spun out or things weren't working out, all of that. So, and, you know, I'll be honest, like, I think the Bogdanovich extension, like, was really weird.
Yep.
And very oddly timed and all of that. I think it also makes it more difficult for teams like the Kings and, you know, for players around Harrison Barnes' value around the league, that guy just got that much money, you know, because, like, that's a stretch. It's a stretch for any 31, 32-year-old like Bogdanovich, but like Harrison's 30, and Harrison's been a better player his entire career than Bogdanovich. Like, Bogey's a really good player, and he's had moments where he's been really solid, but Harrison's a better player. And on top of that, Harrison he's played in 79 consecutive games. Like, he plays every game. Bogdanovich doesn't. So does that kind of skew the market for Harrison? Maybe it does. Maybe it makes him slightly out of reach for the Kings, but I don't know. Like, he would be a huge loss.
Such a Hawks move.
It is such a Hawks move, isn't it? Just like, what are you doing?
There's no rhyme or reason to it.
Maybe match salary and use that to trade for Luka.
Yeah. I don't know.
Chess.
Although, you know, there's a hard cap now, so.
Oh, for goodness sakes! You know what the other thing was about Harrison is, if I don't know, I don't know if they're TikTok only videos or if they make their way around other social media platforms, but they show these videos often where they're asking quick questions to players as they're coming into the game, or coming into the arena. Excuse me. And one of the questions was, if you went out to dinner with your teammates, who picks up the bill? And almost all of them, not like almost every single one, said Harrison Barnes.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, I've one time I waited to start a podcast with it was Doug and De'Aaron and Corey. I mean, not Corey Joseph, Corey Brewer, and we were waiting for Harrison to show up. We were in Portland in like a conference room, and Harrison was out getting his nails done, like, and was late to the party. And it was such a Harrison Barnes reason to be late that we all kind of like chuckled about it. And it would, you know, it's one of those things where, like, the dude is just like, he is so methodical. He takes care of himself. He teaches everyone else how to take care of their body. He's the rock behind the scenes. He runs chapel. Like, he gets everyone organized for chapel every day. Like, this is a dude that you really, really want around your franchise. And he's meant so much more, especially during the lean years. Like, maybe he hasn't meant as much this season to some of these guys, but he still does. You know, he's still on the leadership council. He's still the guy that Sabonis, who just got here, says is the most professional player he's ever been around. So, you know, there are things that, like, when dark times have hit, it was always Harrison Barnes that you stuck out in front of the microphone to, like, deal with the media to say sorry, basically.
Every time.
Yeah, he's been their vet.
Harrison was pissed off a couple of times. Like, I gotta go do this again.
Oh yeah.
He doesn't want to talk to us any day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If ESPN 1320 went out to dinner, who's picking up the check?
I don't know.
Charlie?
Yeah.
I'm good for at least one of those. So I don't know.
It depends on where we going.
That's funny.
We're going to SR Prime. Like, of course, we're going to SR Prime.
I can't go back there for a couple months.
Kenny avoiding that check. Like, oh, Kenny go up and go to the bathroom when he know it's getting somewhat close.
I forgot my wallet.
He headed off.
Wait, what? Hold, there's a call coming. Hey, yeah.
Hey, yo. Hey, yo.
That's funny.
What's the king?
It's James. James is the one. He's got a whole estate. James.
So do you.
I do not have an estate.
I don't have a Tesla. I ain't got that Tesla money.
Got a lake.
You got armed security outside your home.
Yeah.
Hey, driving up to James's house, once you get through, it was like driving to Rick Ross's house. Once you get through the gate, you get through the armed security, they do a background check.
Yeah.
They search your car, the bomb sniffing dogs, all of that stuff. Then you drive just all up this massive hill up till Hammer Spot.
Damn, must be nice.
It was a fun time.
I try.
Before, man, that was even before I got to see the famous bar that Ham broadcast from. James did bring up a great. I'm really anxious to see what Mike does with this group tonight. You talked about the chase for 50. Like, we might get a. Here's a quick question on our way out. How different is this game versus Friday's game? Because Friday's the game I'm really struggling with how Mike is going to approach that.
I think Mike goes for the win every time. And they're still looking at Memphis and thinking,
well, it's there. Yeah.
It's there. Memphis sitting everybody tonight. Yeah, everybody. They're sitting everybody.
Cleveland. Did you see Cleveland's injury report? I have no idea who's wearing a Cavaliers jersey tonight. There's like 9 guys on the injury report.
That's like Utah. You're like, oh no. Like some of these teams, you gotta I just screenshot how many and post the whole thing. I don't have enough characters to like fill in the injury report.
It's like, man, who do they have available? Are they calling up their whole G League squad to get it in tonight? Make sure you subscribe to the Kings Beat podcast. More importantly, make sure you become a premium subscriber over at thekingsbeat.com. Hammer mentioned he's about to drop an article about Harrison Barnes. You don't want to miss that. Gets delivered right to your email address. If you're watching on YouTube or Twitch, make sure you hit the thumbs up and subscribe buttons. Before you go, if you're listening on ESPN 1320 or the Odyssey app, don't go anywhere. We're going to run it back. We hope to see you at Fieldhouse American Sports Pub. We're going to close things down. We are on our way right now to watch Kings basketball. We appreciate you for being here with us on Sacramento Sports Leader, ESPN 1320.
Go Kings!
That was indeed a radio show.
Oh, yeah.
What are you watching?
The highlights from yesterday. I was trying to get to the Davion play again. I wanted to see it, but
my stupid ass was like, oh, take note when this is. I didn't take note when it was.
The play?
Yeah.
Wasn't it third?
Because I wanted to see what happened after it. Like, did that ignite something? It didn't. But I was like, oh, jot this down. Looking around. Oh, I'll remember. I don't remember. Go ahead, James.
I'm not going tonight. Someone asked if I'm going to. I have to work. I got to cover the game.
Yeah, James can't goof around with us during. He can goof around with us sometimes. He can't goof around with us when there's a game to be played.
St. Patty's Day. Yep.
Yeah, that's one thing. We're going to shut down because we do legitimately have to get on the road. So we're looking forward to seeing anyone who can be out there. I know Delivery Joe's already there. He just sent us his menu. He's Delivery Joe. We're on the way, buddy.
We coming, big dog.
We coming. He might have beat the staff there. We'll see you guys tomorrow, man. Hopefully talking about it.